or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
Listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
I'll tell you what, this show's already flying by as I welcome you into another edition. It is the Thursday edition. It's a TGMDC, Bry, and TB with you on a Thursday. Kevin Skarbinski's going to join us here momentarily as we get excited and get ready for another Tennessee, Alabama, what could be, should be a really good football game. And, Matt, as I bring you in, looking around the league, man, it's going to be a great weekend here in the league. There are some really compelling football games on tap.
Yeah, a couple of what I would consider elimination games for the playoffs and just some other intriguing matchups. So, yeah, it's the third Saturday in October takes center stage, and there's nothing greater than that now that it's a real rivalry and Tennessee has a real chance every year in this thing again.
Yeah, I was on a Bama radio show yesterday in Tuscaloosa, and the guy I was with, Ryan Fowler's a really good dude, and we were talking about that very thing. He said, this thing is it seems like a real rivalry again. It's got some sting to it. It's got some punch to it. Matt, you had made the point, though, and I brought this up to him. I said, do your people realize what's getting ready to happen in this conference? Like, when we go to this 9-game schedule, the Alabamas of the world, the Georgias of the world are going to have to recalibrate. And you might call me crazy, Matt, but I think Ole Miss has a decent chance of beating Georgia this weekend. I just think the new league is such that, Georgia should have 3 losses right now, Matt. I know they don't. I know I sound like a loser saying my team should have beaten them, but my team should have beaten them, Matt.
Well,
they should have 3 losses right now.
Every team should beat Georgia. So
Auburn shouldn't have beaten Georgia.
Ole Miss beating them for a 4th loss.
Auburn shouldn't have
probably have Georgia Tech. But Georgia might not even make a bowl game with your predictions.
You don't think Georgia? You don't think Georgia should have lost to Auburn last week if they officiate that thing properly?
Yeah, they should have, but they didn't.
Oh.
They found a way to manipulate it, and then they shut them out in the second half, which is what Georgia does defensively.
Are you of the mindset right now? Because I was talking with a dear friend of mine a second ago, and he said, I just can't. In my mind, he said, I think Tennessee's going to play them closely, and I think it's going to be a really good football game Saturday. He said, I just don't know if we do enough sound things to win this game. Brian Hartman, where are you on that? You from your perch in Circa.
I'm not overly confident, but I'm not unconfident either. I see a path to success. This isn't Saban's Alabama. This is not the Alabama teams they were 20-something point underdogs versus when they play them every year. It is a little – I think the line does feel kind of high, but there is a path to win for Tennessee, certainly. And this is the only weekend where you have 8 SEC versus SEC matchups. All 16 teams are in action, and they all face one another. That doesn't happen again this year, so
why?
Enjoy that for what it's worth.
Why? Matt, why do we have a conference where we're playing these non-league games? Why don't we do it to Big Ten does?
Maybe when they go to 9 SEC games.
It doesn't make any sense.
Have buys every week here the last
I see. Off weeks. Because last week
Yes.
we had that weird deal where Ole Miss is playing. Who'd they play? Washington State or some weird thing like that in the middle of the season. I hope we do away with that. And then we got New Mexico State
like
later in the year. Yeah, and they treated like scrimmage. So here we go. We got a lot to talk about today. Very little time to get there. This is fun. This is going to be an interesting day. We've got Kevin Skarbinski coming up on the other side, and we'll get his perspective on this thing. Kev's been down in Alabama longer, long enough to know better. And hey, Alabama's a very flawed team. Now, I think they're kind of a top of the line team in the league. But see, there are reasons to believe, as C joins the fray, there are reasons to believe that Alabama is beatable on Saturday. See, that's a winnable game for the Vols. What you think? Yes or no? See, where are you? Talk to me here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you not hear me?
Winnable game. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's winnable. But I'm not sure if Tennessee defensively is quite good enough to get it done. Well, obviously we'll see. They're going to need to play a lot better defensively than they've played so far, I think, even in the Georgia game, which they should have won. I don't think a performance like we saw against Georgia will be enough.
ATGMD, you and Sean both kind of said the same thing, which is for some reason, like we're midway point of the year, we're having trouble lining up on defense. That's not a good sign, see? TGMD.
No, I don't know if it's getting lined up. It's knowing what you're doing. Just so many busted assignments and so many just kind of situationally unaware of down and distance on key third downs and just things. It's just we just don't look like a very sound team defensively. And you could even some of that even leaks over offensively with the killer penalties at times that it just I don't know. This team just doesn't see this team just doesn't play clean football, and they're not going to. Let's not kid ourselves. They're not going to magically clean a lot of this stuff up. You just have to hope it doesn't get you beat and then opponents don't take advantage of it.
Because, Matt, if they do those things this weekend, those drive inhibiting, whatever the mistakes are, like you were talking about, a drop ball here or there, a false start penalty, when you have several of those in your own building, that could be an issue. I mean, what's it going to look like when you're on the road in a really, truly, truly, brutally hostile environment? And Matt, Tuesday, you were talking about how they love to play with their lights down there. It's like very gaudy. It's very Alabama. It's very, very gaudy, the way they flip their lights on and off and all that stuff. It's like trying to trip you into like some kind of seizure. Reminds me of one of those toys with the flashing lights, and you tell kids, don't stare at the lights. The whole Alabama experience. Why do I think we've got a pretty good chance of winning this game, guys? Is something wrong with me? Because there are so many reasons why we're not going to win this game, but it just feels like the way the league is this year, and the free roll nature of this game, it's just a total free roll for the Vols. I mean, it's a game we all penned loss next to, Matt. It's a free roll here.
It's not a free roll, but it's Alabama's fourth tough game in a row.
Yep.
And they've found a way to get through the first three. Like, they haven't played great, I guess, overall, but they've played well enough to win.
Yes.
It's just really tough to continue to get a college team up week after week without a break in between where you can kind of take the foot off the gas. You can't do that this week, but you're a lot more optimistic than I am, Tom.
Well, listen.
Doesn't mean Tennessee can't win. I mean, I think saying it's not a winnable game is like insulting to the program because every game's winnable with where the program's at. But
yes,
you have to do a whole lot of things right to win this weekend.
What's weird is that you talk about the officiating, but the schedule makers at the SEC office has seemed to, and down through the years, they kind of helped the Vols in this game because I can remember seasons where Alabama had 7 or 8 games in a row, and Tennessee be coming off a bye week. Or in this case, the schedule for them has maybe it's just worked out that way, but they're having to play one ranked team after another. I think 6 out of 7 weeks they've got a ranked team, and the one team who isn't ranked is South Carolina, which they got to go on the road and face.
So we're going to do something the next several weeks, to Brian's point, which is we're tiering these playoff teams. Last week we had Tennessee in Tier 3, along with Missouri, LSU, Oklahoma. A couple of those teams moved in. A couple of those teams moved out. LSU and Tennessee could jump, in my opinion, from Tier 3 basically into Tier 1 if they win Saturday. We'll explain more about that after we visit with Kevin Skarbinski, who will join on our TLD Logistics phone line on the other side. We'll get him up on our TLD Logistics hotline. We'll get you in. Today, check out the blog over at tclub.team. WeShipFloors.com, Tennessee Hardwood Report up there. We go ahead and try to speculate, guesstimate in terms of what the rotation's going to be against Duke. Mind you, they play, the Vols do, Ohio State in a closed deal this weekend. We'll have eyes in there. We'll give you some stuff on the blog over at tclub.team you won't see anywhere else. I'm not worried about, hacking anybody off or whatever. We'll get a pretty good sense of where things are with our basketball team. But, man, I'll tell you, Duke here, the game next week at Kentucky. Kentucky hosts Texas over the weekend. But those people up there don't care because it's already what? Say it to me. It's already basketball season. They've already had their midnight sadness. So we'll take a brief time out and come back. Kevin Skarbinski, long time, joins in our TLD Logistics phone lines. You got TGMDC, B, and TB with you on a Thursday. It's Alphabet Thursday after this.
Are you searching for a great local coffee? I'm Billy with Grade A Grounds. You can buy our freshly roasted coffee online and support a good cause with every sip. Great coffee, greater causes. Visit our website today, gradeagrounds.com.
You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contracting. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting. Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage are pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gufon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gufon.com. That's Gufon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gufon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Fall has officially arrived, so now is the perfect time to make sure your home's heating and HVAC system is ready for the season ahead. Don't ignore the warning signs that your heating or cooling system is struggling or nearing the end of its lifespan. And if you need fast, reliable HVAC repairs, seasonal preventative maintenance, or want to invest in a new, high-efficiency system, then call the trusted HVAC experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Whatever HVAC problems you encounter, our certified technicians will make a full assessment and then provide the best long-term solution to keep your home comfortable again all year long. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Kevin Skarbinski now joins on your TLD Logistics hotline as we welcome you back. It's your Tony Basilio show. Fan running with you, ladies and germs, up till William Pattison with the playbook. We'll stay on and do a little TLD Logistics overdrive overtime. Kev, the last few days has been covering the SEC media meetings, men's and women's side. Kev, you and I were talking off the air. I congratulated you on that really interesting question that you asked. You got Rick Barnes to talk about Bruce Pearl publicly, and in these parts I don't remember that. I know they've gotten closer though in recent years, and I don't think he was coach speaking. You walk us through that as I welcome you in on the TLD Logistics phone line before we talk about this upcoming third Saturday in October classic. Kev, I was congratulating you for that because I thought that was a really interesting moment in probably a sea of morass for you with those media meetings.
Yeah. It's good to be with you, Tony. Going through 32 coaches and 2 or 3 players from each school, men's and women's teams over the last 2 days, your eyes can tend to glass over occasionally, but occasionally you get a nugget. Occasionally you get a coach who has a moment of honesty and deep thought. And I thought Rick really did open up when I asked him about the transition at Auburn, obviously from Bruce Pearl to Stephen Pearl. He knows them best, and I get the sense that Rick and Bruce have gotten fairly close. I think they obviously discuss a lot of things. Rick mentioned that. And so, his opinion on whether Stephen was ready for this and I thought it was an honest answer. I think he really sounded like he believed Stephen was ready. And then Rick talked about his own experience, of course, and the head coaches that he worked for, including Wimp Sanderson at Alabama, who's a legend in this state and still has his own radio show, still keeps his hand in it. And I guest on Wimp's show every week throughout the year. We talk football, we talk basketball, we talk life. So for Rick to use his own career as an example of how you learn from everybody that you sit next to on the bench, and obviously Stephen sitting next to Bruce while Bruce did what many people thought was the impossible and didn't just breathe life into Auburn basketball when it was on life support, but turned it into a force and made it one of the better basketball programs in the country, which, Auburn had moments of success, brief pockets with Cliff Ellis and Sonny Smith, and you go all the way back to Joel Eves in the 50s and 60s, but nothing like what Bruce brought. So I thought it was a pretty good endorsement for Stephen for Rick Barnes, and we know what he's accomplished. We know how successful he's been. Certainly, he's the dean of SEC coaches now at one job, and so for him to say those complimentary things about Stephen, and basically said Bruce told him Stephen was ready, and if Bruce says he's ready, then he's ready. I thought that was a pretty strong quote from Rick Barnes.
Yeah, and the other thing that he talked about, which we think is interesting, because we like to pit everything rivalry. This guy had the job here, and he did this, and this guy has the job here, and he's taken the bar and exceeded it. The truth is that a lot of these guys are friends behind the scenes. Some of them are enemies. They fight over players, and especially in this era, you're going to fight over this guy, fight over that guy. These guys share a lot of things in common, and I believe Rick Barnes when he says, "Hey, we've gotten very close here recently."
Yeah, and that's, as you said, that's not always the case, especially when guys have coached at the same place, and maybe one opened the door, and then the other took it to another level. Or maybe the second coach didn't quite reach the level of the first coach, but he did have success. And so there can be, look, these guys are human. They get jealous. They have animosity towards others. They feel like maybe they didn't get appreciated as much as they should have. And I'm not saying that's the case with Bruce Pearl about Tennessee. Every time I've heard him speak about Tennessee, he's been amazingly complimentary about his time there, the people there, the opportunity they gave him. So I've never, and maybe he does hold some bitterness in his heart about the way it ended, which would be natural, but generally he's been very, very positive. So again, to hear Rick Barnes say the things he said about Bruce and about Steven, I thought was pretty telling.
Kev, I was on yesterday with a Tuscaloosa-based radio host, and as we visited with Kevin Skarbinski, and he said something really interesting. He said Bear Bryant about this series, this Tennessee Alabama series, used to tell his players, look, we hate Auburn, but we respect Tennessee. And that's an interesting thing to say, because I've always thought, like, we hate Florida here, but we've always respected this Alabama series. And I think we're really glad as a fan base that this is going to continue in the modern, new 9-game SEC, and it needs to continue for forever. I know they're talking about looking at this thing every 4 years. They better not relook at this series, Kev, because this belongs on the schedule. This to me is a vital, vital series in college football. Your thoughts?
Oh, absolutely. And that's why, the way they structured the 9-game schedule, where you'll have permanent opponents, 3 permanent opponents. And even though and permanent obviously is in, you can put air quotes around it, because as you said, they're going to revisit the rotation every 4 years. But there are certain rivalries that just rise above. And Alabama-Auburn is one of those, and Alabama-Tennessee is certainly another. You just can't have SEC football without those two teams playing each other. And that's where I think the SEC has gotten it right. I think they understand, for all the changes that they've made, all the expansions and the different things they've done that might make some longtime fans of the league cringe, but they do seem to remember their roots. More so maybe than any other conference. Just the fact that when they've expanded into contiguous states. You don't have to fly from one coast to another to go to an SEC conference game. So I do respect that. But this one is special. It was interesting. Terrence Cody, who, of course, Tennessee fans remember not fondly for his 2 blocked field goals back in 2009, he did a podcast with AL.com this week. And he commented on that, and he said he didn't realize till he got there, and he's from Mississippi, so he didn't grow up in it, but he said he thought the hate was greater among Alabama people for Tennessee than for Auburn. And you can get 100 different, you can ask 100 people, get 50 different opinions on that. That's been a long-running debate here. Who is Alabama's biggest rival? Is it Tennessee or is it Auburn? And I think for older Alabama fans, they tend to lean towards Tennessee. I think younger fans look at Auburn, because while Alabama was dominating the Tennessee series under Nick Saban, Auburn was the thorn in their side. Because he had a way about him when he matched up with Nick Saban, and nobody beat him more. And in some strange ways, those games occurred. But so I think it's an age thing. I think it's an experience thing. If people remember Bear Bryant and what, General Neyland and what they respected each other, they wanted to beat each other's brains out, of course, did have a mutual respect. So it is interesting. It's just interesting. But again, the roots are so deep. The cigars after victory, that kind of thing. Very cool aspects to the series. That would be a sign that we have completely forgotten where we came from if the SEC ever goes away from this as an annual game.
They better not. They absolutely better not. It's just look, I'm from Pennsylvania like you are. I remember my first game in Neyland Stadium, in 1988, and Alabama ran all over Tennessee that day. But it was a day where Keith DeLong had like 550 tackles. And there's just something special about seeing those two teams on the field together. I don't know. That color combination shouldn't work, but it does. Yeah. Kevin Skarbinski joins. He works for the Birmingham News. He's doing work with the SEC this week at their website, he was talking about those capsules he's writing for 32 different teams. That makes literally, I'm going to go upstairs and pre-medicate for Kev for what he's about to do. Scarbo knows over on YouTube. He also has a Max Roundtable inside the locker room, and he's Kevin Skarbinski. Hey, Matt, jump in here because I want you to sort of ask Kev the question you threw out the other day, which is a great one for the Alabama fan. Go ahead, Matt.
Well, yeah, just in this era of parity and a playoff sport, and with Alabama coming off that unparalleled run with Saban, how do Alabama fans take these games where, like, every week they could actually lose a game? Like, they could have lost Missouri. Vandy was a big game. Georgia, like, that just hasn't happened in like well over a decade, and it was not going to be sustainable. I mean, even Georgia's going through it now. But like, how do Alabama fans handle going into games now that they're not just guaranteed to win?
Well, they're not handling it very comfortably. I'll tell you that. I mean, all you have to do is look at the reaction to the Florida State loss, or the first game of the season, and you're anticipating a new year. Kalen DeBoer's second time around. It looks like he has a quarterback better suited to his system. Florida State went 2-10 a year ago, and they go to Tallahassee and they just get discombobulated. And by what we have now learned was not really a very good Florida State team. But there was that man Gus Malzahn again working his magic as the OC at Florida State against Alabama, the way he did as the head coach at Auburn. So it's an uncomfortable feeling. That's the thing for traditional powers. Everybody has to really shift their mindset now in this era of college football. No one is going to stack the deck, pile up talent the way Nick Saban did at Alabama, the way Kirby Smart was doing at Georgia, where you just walk out there most Saturdays and, barring something really strange, barring a Heisman-like performance from a Johnny Manziel, you just knew most Saturdays not only was Alabama going to win, but it wasn't going to be close.
Yeah.
And, they were the most, in a lot of ways, they were the most boring football program in the country. It was like watching a machine. It was like watching a thresher, take down wheat in a field. The wheat didn't stand a chance, and neither did Missouri or Vanderbilt or even Tennessee, even though some of those games were close, obviously. 2009 stands out. 2015 stands out. But, you just knew. Now you don't know. They're still very optimistic. They still think they're superior to most teams they play, if not all teams. They still expect to win week in and week out, but they're not sure. They used to be sure, and that's kind of jarring. And so that's the same thing with it. It was think about you're playing Missouri last week.
Yep.
Now they've never lost to Missouri since Missouri joined the SEC. But that game was not a sure thing, and it wasn't a sure thing until late, very, very, very late in the game. And so that's an attitude adjustment that Alabama fans have had to make, and it hasn't been a comfortable adjustment. Let's just say that.
It was a great, hard-hitting football game, and this. My thing is, any given Saturday in this league, this is the one weekend of the year where all teams match up against all teams. And I'm not sure, outside of Texas losing to Kentucky, I'm not sure how many shocking or potentially shocking things could happen in this league. You've got LSU favored you've got Vanderbilt favored over LSU. The Arkansas team we saw last week, they can score 1 million points. I don't know. Could they get Texas A&M? I don't think they can, but who knows? The league is just flat out crazy how these teams lay one on top of the other. It's jarring for me, Kev. I think it's, in our lifetime, I think college football right now, and particularly this league, is as interesting as it's ever been.
Well, look, drama is what makes college football special.
Yes.
The kick six,
yes,
Rocky Block,
yes,
the prayer and Jordan Hare,
yeah,
those kind of games, we remember those forever. And now I think we get more of those because there is no guarantee who's going to win from Saturday to Saturday. And that's a good, that's a great point, Tony. This weekend, other than, as you said, Texas, Kentucky, I think you could be surprised at any result in any of the other conference games.
Nope.
nobody will be surprised or shocked if Tennessee goes to Tuscaloosa and wins, even though they haven't won there in a long time, but they've won 2 out of the last 3 in the series. Nobody's going to be surprised if Missouri walks into Auburn, which is just a mess right now, and wins that game. But you know what? But no one would be shocked if Auburn won it either.
Hey, by the way, Auburn should have they should be riding high in the league right now if the games are officiated properly. This thing that the SEC does with this replay, while the ACC lets you listen in, and the Southeastern Conference hides behind the cloak of whatever they're hiding behind, why we don't hear the conversation between the sky judge up in the box and the referee on the field, and then Kirby Smart calls a fake timeout the other day. I mean, Kev, this is bordering on professional wrestling, what they're doing to Hugh Freeze here twice now in this league.
Wait a minute. You sound like the Auburn fans I'm hearing from, Tony.
Well, it's the truth. It's the
I'm going to push back. I'm going to push back a little bit on that, and for this reason. So let's go back. And I'll give you a couple of examples.
All right.
The hideout touchdown against Oklahoma, which the league, I don't ever remember them issuing a statement about officiating that quickly on the day of the game, before the day was out, before saying the officials got it wrong, that they should have called a penalty. But even still, there were 45 minutes, I believe, left in that game. Auburn had every chance to win the game. The Georgia deal with the tush-push, touchdown, the fumble. And look, I thought it was a touchdown, but the more you watch the replay, the more you could say, well, maybe, I'm not sure, it's not conclusive. And that, I will say this, they were consistent in the way they're supposed to approach replay, that if you don't have a definitive view to overturn the call, you shouldn't overturn the call. And because they called it a fumble on the field, you really couldn't overturn it through replay. No matter how long they looked at it, and they look at it for like 10 minutes, no matter how many views they had, it was such a scrum in there, you didn't have one clearly defined view that showed whether he did cross the plane while he was still in possession of the ball, or whether the ball crossed the plane while he was still in possession or not. So, and even still, there were 32 minutes left in the game, and your offense completely went into a turtle shell in the second half, couldn't do a thing, and Georgia completely took control of the game. And I know momentum's important, and I know it can change things, but that's, to me, Auburn has become a program looking for excuses. And I'm not willing to grant them those excuses, because I think they made a bad hire in the first place with Hugh Freeze, and I think chickens are coming home to I think the chickens are coming home to roost.
He's a clown, and he can't get a call, and nobody's going to do him any favors because he's a clown. But here's the thing. Allowing Kirby Smart to run onto the field down there to the 7-yard line and talk those officials into that call, because he knows what I know, what you know, Kevin, which is if that's a touchdown, which it was a touchdown, and it's 17-0 at that point, his goose is cooked. That game's over. They don't have a team built to come back in that game. They were not going to come back in that game. They were going to get fried. But if we can hang around in this game, I'm going to do what I do to everybody, which is as the game wears along, I'm eventually going to wrestle control the game, and I'm going to beat that turkey over there on that sideline and beat his turkey staff. But here's the thing. What is the % chance that Auburn's job opens in this really chaotic offseason we're about to see? What do you think?
I would say the chances are greater that they will have a new coach in 2026 than that Hugh Freeze will be back.
Amen. So
because I don't have any confidence that he can turn this thing around. I don't have any confidence that Jackson Arnold has any confidence left.
No.
And I think they completely misjudged his ability. Hugh Freeze, whatever magic he once owned as a play caller or as an offensive game planner, has completely dissipated. He's lost it. He can't make adjustments. Kirby completely and Glenn Schulman and those guys completely outcoached him in the second half. And so I expect Auburn's not done losing. Again, you can't be. They have enough talent. They've had enough talent to win the last 3 games. And what they don't have is the leadership to deal with the kind of adversity that they've been faced with some of these officiating calls.
Kevin Skarbinski joins us. Kev, this Alabama game is so interesting because both these teams have flaws. Both these teams are pretty good, like a lot of the league. Alabama at times doesn't pass block well. Tennessee can get home at times with their pass rush. This Jam Miller thing's really key. I understand that he didn't practice yesterday, but I understand he was with a team around the practice field. I'm not asking you to play God here, but what do you think happens? Does he play Saturday? What's your sense?
Well, I think at this, he's in concussion protocol.
Yeah.
And you really have to defer to your medical staff when you're dealing with a concussion. And this is something that's very important to me. My older son, who's in college now, he's suffered 3 different concussions in 3 different ways in his young years, and it affected him. And so I'm always in player safety first, but more than ever because of my own personal experience. So I think you've got to listen to the doctors, and if they say he's good to go, then you play him, and if they say he's not, you don't. But he is very important to that football team and that offense. And you saw it when he wasn't there the first 3 games. He dislocated a collarbone in a fall scrimmage, and so he missed the first 3 games. And it's not just his ball carrying; it's his toughness, it's his pass blocking. And as you said, man, Alabama's right tackle has been. I mean, it's basically been a revolving door out there, and it was in particular last week. They may make a change at that position this week. I wouldn't be surprised because the starter hasn't been getting it done. So they, as you said, they have their flaws. And so when you're missing a key piece, who, again, he's not a flashy piece, he's not going to make a Ryan Williams type play where he pulls the Top Gun move, I'm going to hit the brakes, they'll fly right by. That's not Jam Miller. But Jam Miller is part of the heart and soul of that offense. And if they don't have him, the other guys can carry the ball, but they don't do all the things that Jam Miller does. So that's to the detriment of Alabama's offense. On the plus side for them, they've got a lot of weapons, particularly on the outside. And I think Ty Simpson is the best quarterback in the SEC and one of the better quarterbacks in the country. I've been so impressed with the way he's dealt with adversity, the way he came back after that Florida State game, and even within games, even the Missouri game last week. He suffers a strip sack at the start of the third quarter, and he doesn't go into a shell. He's not afraid to make a play. And the 4th down throw in the fourth quarter to Latsir Brooks, that's a pro throw. That is an NFL type throw under the most pressure imaginable.
Yeah.
Because if you don't make it there and you give the ball back to Missouri, there's a good chance you're going to lose that game. And so that's how much Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb, the OC, trust him to make those kind of plays. And to me, he's the difference. He's the difference for Alabama and why I would give Alabama an edge in this game. Not that Joey Aguilar hasn't been good for Tennessee, but I think Ty Simpson is on a different level.
Well, hey, Matt, you said it earlier in the week, and I want to ask my panel this because I'm going to throw it to everybody. You give me the best quarterback in the league right now. I'll tell you this, and Matt, you were talking about this earlier in the week with us. Ty Simpson is a very comfortable quarterback in their offense. Like, he fits what they want to do really well. The Grubb guy's done an incredible job with him. Matt, do you believe he's the best quarterback in the league right now, the way he's playing? Because he's really playing at a high level.
Right now, yeah. Yeah, I mean, John Mateer, when he was healthy, basically carried Oklahoma. But what Ty Simpson's doing right now is really impressive because, like Kevin said, their offensive line doesn't help him out a ton, and the running game's kind of lacking. And he does a whole lot for them. They put a whole lot on his shoulders, and he's been able to handle it. So it would probably have to be him.
And it's remarkable because he looked like a guy that was going to get replaced by that 5-star kid that's sitting there after the Florida State game. See, where are you? Who's your best quarterback in the league right now? Or
I would say Ty Simpson.
Yeah,
Ty Simpson's the best.
Yeah, I mean, for a guy functioning within his offense, Bri, who you have?
Well, if it ain't Simpson, I think I'd go with the Marcel Reed kid.
Not a bad choice.
And I think, Ole Miss quarterback could be in the top 5-ish, somewhere like that. So,
yeah,
Ty Simpson's up there. Joey Aguilar, let's not forget about him.
No, he's been very good. He's been very good.
Making a case for himself.
Which is what Kevin said. Here's the thing, though. If you're Aguilar and you want to be regarded as the best, you go to Alabama and win this week, you take the belt. You walk out of there with the belt. That's how this league's going to work. And, Kev, you had mentioned one of these guys had mentioned the kid at Oklahoma. I just don't understand them putting him out on the field last week. That seems irresponsible to me, and that's not setting a kid up to succeed. That was not good.
No, I think you're absolutely about that. I think that's almost coaching malpractice by Brent Venables because they were, and they still are, in terms of the overall record, they could afford to lose that game.
Yeah.
Not that you want to lose it, not that you're trying to lose it,
yes,
not that you're not doing everything you can to win it, but clearly he was not 100%. And they have they don't have a running game. It's John Mateer or nothing.
Yeah.
And the backup had not played very well the week before against an overmatched opponent. So I understand the desire to win a rivalry game, but you got to look big picture. You've got to look what's best for your team over the rest of the season. And their schedule down the stretch, the second half of the year, is brutal.
Oh.
Who they've got to play. You need a healthy John Mateer. And I don't know how much, if that set him back at all with his hand playing in that game, taking the punishment that he did. But they've got other issues on offense. So I thought that was a really poor and short-sighted decision by Brent Venables.
Kevin Skarbinski joins us. The thing that's so great about this matchup this weekend is both teams have really great strengths. Both teams are really good at quarterback. Both teams have weaknesses. Tennessee's got them on defense. Alabama at times has them on defense with the inability to stop the run at times. And so somebody's going to make somebody else play their game, which is what I love about these matchups. Hey, Kev, Ryan Williams last year had 19 targets in the game, which is remarkable for a kid. At that time, he was still 17. And this year, they're spreading the ball around a lot more. What's happened with the Williams kid this year?
Well, for one thing, he's been banged up, and I don't know if you noticed, there was a question whether he was going to play at Missouri. And early in the game, one of their down-the-line wide receivers who was going to get pretty much most, if not all, of Ryan Williams' snaps
got nailed.
Got concussed, got on a targeting call.
Mm-hmm.
And so Ryan Williams, and he hasn't gotten enough credit for this, he basically was a decoy. He didn't catch a ball. And the joke was, Caden Proctor had more offensive yards than Ryan Williams in the refrigerator Perry formation at the goal line. But Ryan Williams was not healthy, and I don't think they planned to play him. But when that other receiver went out, they needed him, and he just basically acted as a decoy. He's had a problem with drops earlier in the year. They've been working on that double time to try to get past it. But he still has that rare ability that few guys have to make magic happen out of nothing. So I don't know if he's fully healthy this week. He's expected to play, but he's dangerous. But he hasn't even been their best receiver, and that shows. Jeremy Bernard, who transferred from Washington, where he had success with Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb there, he's really emerged as one of the better receivers in the country, and he's their go-to guy. Isaiah Horton, who transferred in from Miami, he's really developed a rapport with Ty Simpson. So they're getting more guys. The tight ends, Josh Cuevas, he's a difference maker at tight end, and he's again become a favorite target of Ty Simpson. So they just have so many options. They'll throw the ball to the backs. Kevin Riley is really good catching the ball out of the backfield. And Ryan Grubb, you can see why Kalen DeBoer and he had so much success together, because their game plans, their play calls, their adjustments within games, it's just different. And they can do so much more with Ty Simpson than they could with Jalen Milroe. And I'll forever wonder if, when he's old and retired and sitting in a rocking chair, if Kalen DeBoer will look back on it and say, you know what? In that first season at Alabama, I'd have been better off going with Ty Simpson. Or maybe Ty Simpson wasn't ready last year, and Ryan Grubb wasn't there last year either because he took that short detour to the NFL. So who knows? But no, their offense is – and what's really funny is They have a ball control passing offense. Look at their time of possession.
Yeah.
And it's not because they're grinding it out on the ground. It's because they're grinding it out through the air. It's kind of fun to watch. It's different.
And the Simpson guy, too, the thing about him is, and I encourage Tennessee fans to watch this weekend, they get him outside the pocket, and you think he's going to run, and he'll hold the ball to the very last second. I mean, I've seen him several times take some shots to get rid of the ball, and he's not afraid of contact. He's really looks comfortable in their offense. And Kev, on the way out, give the our living listener your coordinates, all the stuff you're doing, if they want to interact with you. And I appreciate your time, man.
Well, I always enjoy visiting with you, Stoney. Yeah, the best thing to do, follow me on Twitter/X at Kevin Skarbinski. You can keep up with the columns I write in the Birmingham News. You can find those on AL.com. Go to YouTube. I've got a new YouTube channel that where I host my podcast. It's Kevin Skarbinski Scarbo Knows. I do those twice a week. And also every Thursday night we started a high school football game. We're doing a college game day type of thing.
That's
a pregame show.
That's fun.
From 5 to 6 on Alabama Public Television. Tonight we're in Lochapoka, and I'll give a quarter to anyone who can tell me where Lochapoka, Alabama is.
Buddy, I have no idea, but that sounds like the Vittles there are going to be very good.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Where is Lochapoka?
It's actually very near Auburn University, not that far away.
Kev, thank you. Stop in there and tell Hugh Freeze how much you love him and appreciate him, and hope you have a great one, brother. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Tony.
Yeah.
See you.
Yep. He's appreciating on all Hugh Freeze. Old Hugh makes friends, doesn't he, Matt? Everywhere he goes, they all love him. They all love old Hugh. We're going to come back on the other side, 865-200-5402. Guys, we're getting ripped. We're getting ripped over on our YouTube channel for all of us agreeing that the kid at Alabama is the best quarterback in the league, Matt. What do you say for yourself? That he's playing the best right now coming into this weekend. What do you say for yourself, Matt?
Well, I said it earlier that I think he is, that he has a lot of responsibility and he's got great receivers, but doesn't have a lot of help with the O-line or running backs. And he's won some really big games, made some really big throws to win games. So, who's been better?
And by the way, it does not mean that we're poo-pooing our guy. Like Brian said, Aguilar's been very good. But here's the thing. If you want to be thought of in a different light as a football team, go win this game. If you want to be thought of in a different light as a quarterback, go win this game. That's just the reality of this thing. And Tennessee's got an opportunity, last time I checked, to win this game. As we continue with more, so we'll get some calls in. Also in the next hour, another thing that we're going to do is we're going to revisit our sheet from last week. I've got it in front of me. We went through Tier 1, Tier 2, and we had given out 8 spots. Let's see if what's changed in any of that and where the Vols are coming into the weekend as we continue with more after this.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A Grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof. T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right. Drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. Basilio here. No one does it like Alumni Hall. I'm here to tell you, living Vol fan, only one place. That's the best place to shop for Tennessee gear, and that's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands like Nike and Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. Load up on hats, accessories, Yeti, all your tailgating necessities. Download the Alumni Hall app, click account, and it'll tell you how much Hall cash you've earned. You earn $10 in rewards for every $150 you spend. Alumni Hall, with physical locations in Murfreesboro, Bristol, and 3 locations in Knoxville, now open in Johnson City. Pop into Alumni Hall and get ready and tell them Tony B sent you. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio Show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to Budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to Budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
TB, back with you. I feel good about this game Saturday with the Vols in Alabama. I don't feel good enough about it. But if you ask me, like, how do you think about this? I think it's going to be a really good football game. I'm kind of with Matt. I sort of look at the Vols and I say, can they do enough good things consistently to win this game? And Matt, right now, I'm kind of in a spot where my answer to that is not really. I wish it was different. But that's sort of where I'm at, Matt. Like, I'm asking myself, can they do enough good things consistently to win this game? Can they get out of their own way on offense and defense in this game? And I don't know why I feel the way I do, Matt, but that's where I'm at right now, a couple days out.
Yeah, can you do it for 4 quarters?
Yes.
Not just a half or and that's the challenge. And on the flip side, Alabama's made those key plays the last 3 games.
Yep.
They've converted the third downs they've needed to. They've converted fourth downs.
Yes.
When they needed to. That the throw that Kevin talked about that Simpson made on the kind of the game clinching drive was just an incredible throw on fourth down. Alabama's made those plays. They stopped a fake punt that for some reason Missouri tried. Like they've just been able to do that. So you've got to hope that you play really well. Alabama doesn't take advantage of your mistakes, and maybe you have an off game from Ty Simpson. Jalen Milroe was really bad last year, and that's kind of what won you that game.
Yes.
The problem I think is, like, Tennessee has to be very balanced offensively. You've got to really lean on your run game. Your run game's got to be a big factor. Whereas as Alabama could win the game being fairly one-dimensional with Ty Simpson. So they have a greater, path to victory, so to speak, because they have a dynamic quarterback. But like Ty Simpson has to thoroughly outplay Aguilar for Alabama to win.
865-200-5402 is the number if you
want
to get in with us. Go ahead, Brian.
That you may discount is the fact that Simpson playing against Tennessee, how will that factor in his mind going up against the team that he grew up around?
That's my
and a school that may have recruited him or wanted him to come there.
Yeah. I'm holding out hope on that because at one time in that kid's mind, he was coming to Tennessee. Somebody refreshed my memory on that, and I went back and looked it up, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened. The father was going to join Skull Can staff, Scully, as we like to call him. And, who knows? Who knows? We're all human. Who knows how that factors in? Plus,
it's weird that he wanted to come play for Skull Can and not Heupel.
You're playing a coach, too. See, who broke one off in UT Martin. Ran that trick play on him, and they had words after the game. See if you'll remember that. So who knows? Maybe that enters in here. These people are human beings. Who knows?
Yeah, it is an interesting factor. Obviously, Ty Simpson. The one thing, obviously, Ty Simpson's not like an 18-year-old kid. He's pretty mature. He's gone in. We saw him. He's played in tough environments. He's been through a lot. So I think if he was a true freshman, that you maybe would weigh that in a little more. But a home game, at night, you've played a bunch of tough games before. I don't know how much that'll factor in, but the bigger concern for me is just Tennessee's defense, and especially obviously now for sure we know McCoy. I don't think anyone was expecting McCoy to play anyway, but I think for the secondary, it's just going to be a pretty big challenge against these receivers, Horton, and I know Williams hasn't done much, but I mean they're loaded on the outside, and Simpson's kind of settled in, so it's going to be a big challenge, I think, just from a talent perspective for Tennessee to keep up with these guys.
865-200-5402. If you want to get in the mix with us, we'll go to the phones. And then at some point this hour, we're going to talk about these playoff tiers. Like, for instance, last week we had Indiana, if Indiana was to defeat last week Oregon, they were going to jump into Tier 1. We're going to say today, are they? We're going to ask that question and look at the implications of this Tennessee game for Tennessee, for Alabama, for you, for me, for us, for life, as things are getting really interesting in the league. Let's go back to our phones and get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on the air.
Good morning, Tony.
Welcome in.
It's Taggart.
Hey, Tag. Welcome in, buddy.
Hey, I want to hit on the thing that you brought up Monday. You were talking about the SEC, the acronym, and
what it stands for.
Eradicate means to do away with or whatever. So I think swiftly eradicating coaches would be a good one for the SEC. And NCAA could be, new coaches available anytime. But,
it is going to be a really silly season. Okay, guys, let's look at this coming into the weekend. What jobs are open in the league right now? Auburn's going to open. Florida, Matt, let out the other day that they're already going to let their guy go win, lose, or draw over the weekend. That's already out there. What else is open, guys? What am I missing? Arkansas is open. Somebody help me out here. What else?
Kentucky is opening.
Kentucky's going to open. That's 4.
Oh. Oklahoma and LSU, one of those could potentially open.
That's at least 5.
Missouri could open if Drakewitz takes another job.
I agree with 5.
Same with Vandy.
But let's just say 5 for now.
Same with South Carolina.
5 for now. Same with South Carolina. Yeah, Frankie Jr. might get hired away.
We might restart the clock.
Taggart, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm feeling you, brother.
Okay. Secondly, you think there's any way that Heupel could get Vitello to be his liaison to the refs? I mean, he does know how to chew some butt out, and that way Heupel wouldn't have to worry about getting kicked out of the game or whatever. And that brings me to my question for you guys.
Yep.
How many plays do you think that the refs are going to either have no calls or penalties in key situations this weekend? And I shouldn't even have to be thinking about that, but it happens, it seems like, every single ball game. I'm thinking 2 to 3 plays that there's either going to be a penalty thrown in a key situation or a no call.
Cinco brought a really good point up, guys, about the last time Tennessee played down there. The Vols were getting home on defense. They had a 2-score lead. They come out of the locker room And lo and behold, what happens? Alabama starts holding, clutching, and grabbing, and nothing's called. Nothing's called. I cannot believe the officiating in that Auburn game. That was an utterly disgraceful thing that happened last weekend. And see, you said it. It looks like these guys are officiating for the playoff teams to keep the playoff teams in contention. It's really interesting. It's a sad thing to say into a microphone. It's a ridiculous thing to believe. What do y'all think? You think we get a fair whistle, Matt, down there? You expecting a fair whistle?
No, I'm not expecting a fair whistle. You're not going to get any of the 50-50 judgment calls, no.
What do you think, C? Do you think that's a real thing, or do you think we're just kind of on here being emotional, being homers?
No, I think it definitely. I mean, is there a directive directly from Greg Sankey to these officials? I doubt that, but I think in these guys' minds, they kind of have the thought that it's better for their employer if a certain team wins. Like in that Auburn-Georgia game, it's obvious that if Georgia loses that game, it's going to be, I mean, not impossible, but it's going to make getting to the playoff, getting that extra team in the playoff that much tougher, and that it's better for them if Georgia wins. I mean, I think that's human nature. You're going to do what's better for the person signing your paycheck. And people may laugh at that, but I mean, what happened in that game, whatever, Kevin Skarbinski, I agree with them that Auburn still could have won the game if they had been more mentally tough. But the way that game was going, if they had called that a touchdown, Georgia was not winning that game.
And that is the point.
Is it conspiracy or just incompetence? That's another question. I just wonder if some of these officiating crews are even competent enough to
conspiracy or incompetence, because some of these referees that speak into these microphones look like guys that, I mean, literally look like they're 5 bricks short of 10 when they open their microphone. What do you think, Taggart?
I think they ought to be made to come out and go through press conference just like the coaches do.
Yep.
Hey, what the hell were you thinking in that call? I mean, why didn't you call holding on those guys? He had him around the neck, and you didn't call it. You were standing right behind him.
Yep. Yep.
But anyway, as I'm driving through Alabama right now, I had to work in West Texas this week. I'm heading to Georgia. And I will not buy gas, food, or a hotel in this state, period. And because I do hate Alabama, I'll give them their respect, whatever, on their 7 or 8 national championships, because the ones that are declared by the Birmingham Post do not count. So anyway, go Vols, and UT fans, start early because the tractors are already backing up there.
Taggart, tell the listeners, okay, how many days in a row you've worn orange. And I want you to listen to this. This is serious now.
Every day since December 28th, 1990.
19 when? December 28th, 19 what?
December 28th, 1990, the day I got out of the Air Force.
Oh! Taggart woke up all in today. I don't know about you, but I'm not feeling 22. Taggart, thank you. On your TLD Logistics phone lines, 865-200-5402. Andy Vandergriff, y'all forgot opening kickoff of the second half got completely screwed by the refs in 2023. Matt, have you forgotten about that?
No, we had some kind of weird fair catch where we basically started at our own goal line.
Hello and welcome.
Right after they had scored the second play of the half.
Hello and welcome into our next call. And from there, it was on like Donkey Kong. Hello and welcome in. You're on our TLD Logistics phone lines. You're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, Tone? Who's your ball Ryan?
There he is. Tier 1. Can we put Who's Your Vol Ryan in Tier 1 right now? Guys, yes or no?
Yes.
That means
they're making the playoff.
That means our Tier 1 programs are now Ohio State, Oregon, Miami, and Indiana. Do we all agree on that, Matt Dixon?
No, Oregon is not. Oregon does not belong
Oregon's
there.
out. I'm sorry. That's right.
Week,
That's right.
We went over that.
I'm looking at it. So I'm going to redraw up Tier 1 here. Ohio State, Indiana, Miami are Tier 1. Anybody else in Tier 1 right now, guys?
No.
All right. So go ahead. Who's your Vol? I'm sorry.
I'm with you, Tone. I got a good feeling about Saturday night, too, for the Big Orange.
Yeah, I can't pull the trigger, but I
yeah.
don't feel terrible about it. I can't pull the trigger just yet, but I don't feel terrible about it.
Well, I joked with John Adams that his LSU boys were going to lose and complete the sad Saban parlay. But I tell you, maybe not all three lose, but I'm comfortable saying all three will cover, meaning that Indiana, I don't know what the line is, but unless it's 49.5, is going to pound Michigan State to cover.
Yes.
I think LSU is going to lose to Vanderbilt because unless they blow Vandy out, I think that's their only avenue to win, because if it's close, I think Vandy will get them. And if they get behind on Vandy, they don't have the firepower to catch up with that kid hurt, and Vandy will play keep away. So I like that for 2 out of the 3, and I think the Vols could cover 8.5. And then you get the sad Saban parlay Saturday.
Let me throw this at you here, the sad Saban parlay. Matt Dixon, are you ready to go there that Vanderbilt's going to get LSU Saturday?
No, I'm not going to. I wouldn't predict it, but that's going to be a really competitive, low-scoring, one-possession game that I'd probably give Vandy the edge.
How about you, C? What do you think? Because Watson thinks that that LSU is going to get got Saturday, going to get exposed and going to get got.
I don't. I think the teams are pretty close. I think it's like a dead I'd probably give Vandy the edge being at home. I don't think there's much difference at all between LSU and Vandy. I mean, I think Tennessee is in that right around that same ability level too. Whenever whoever's at home in those games, I think you give the edge to. Yeah, I think Vandy's definitely live in that game. I know it's an 11 a.m. game in Nashville. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I think LSU might be slightly better, but in Nashville, I think Vandy probably has the edge. I don't disagree at all with that parlay. I think Indiana's minus 27.5 against Michigan State. By the way,
we'll cover. We're gonna kill them.
I think that's the least likely. I think LSU takes care of Vanderbilt. Just looking at series history.
Brian, you think IU won't cover the 27.5?
I think IU is the most likely to cover. I think the Tennessee is the second most likely, and then I think Vanderbilt's the least likely.
Really? Well, we're jumping ahead, but my logic behind it is I think Tennessee – I'm actually not worried about the Vanderbilt game, and call me crazy, but our scoring potential, that's what you got to do against Vanderbilt, because if they get ahead –
That's exactly right.
If they get ahead, you might not get the ball enough. And number two, if it's close, they got that screwy offense and a quarterback that swaggers and got nothing to lose. I'd be nervous. The reason why I think the Vols will get them is we can score like heck.
Yep.
And that brings me to my final point.
Yep.
And that's Vanderbilt's problem. LSU can't score. I'm telling you, I think they're losing. But whatever. On to the Vols, guys. Last year's team couldn't score, but had a really good defense. This year's team can score like heck and has a really average defense. I'd take this year's team against Ty Simpson on the road than last year's team. So I understand everyone's nervousness that, oh my God, our defense sucks. Well, let's say we took last year's team, not now as NFL players, as they were last year, and had a time machine and plopped them into Tuscaloosa with a Tim Banks coaching scared, no offense. I don't think they'd have any chance of winning. I think this team's got a better chance of winning in the modern game. You got to score.
Thank you, brother. I agree with that. And the thing about that LSU bunch, guys, that's why I don't think they'll win that game Saturday. You cannot play offense like that. And if you play like that Saturday, you play right into Vanderbilt's hands, Matt. Vanderbilt's going to be right at home in that football game. As weird as that is to say, I think Vandy's going to win that game. As weird as that is to say, I know that feels so weird to me, saying that Vanderbilt's going to beat LSU, but, man, it's halfway through the season. LSU's quarterback is hurt, and you've got to believe what you see. You've got to believe what you see. And if the thing goes according to form, LSU's going to get got. They are going to get got on Saturday, and they're going to be out of the playoff chase. But, Matt, what did you say either on the air or off the air? If they're not going to get got Saturday, eventually they're going to get got, right? Because they don't score enough?
Yeah. I mean, Nussmeier's not healthy. They have no running game to lean on. So you're going to get. I mean, Arkansas could beat them and just outscore them in a game. So yeah, LSU's not. I don't think they're in the playoff picture at all. Now, if they win Saturday, maybe they can stay. We can say that they stay alive. But that's a team that's a 9-3 at best team in my mind.
Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in 865-200-5402. And if Vanderbilt gets LSU like I think they are, it's going to set up an unbelievable game at the end of the year between them and us. And they're going to have trouble in that game because Tennessee can really score when they're not stepping on their own feet. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. It's Dave in Ackworth.
Hey, Dave. Great shot today in the blog. Thank you for that. Very interesting.
Well, I was, I still just looking at that analogy between the coach up at Penn State and Majors. It just blew my mind how similar those two firings were. It's just almost a little uncanny, so many years apart. But my thoughts on the Bama game is this. I've got two words. It's stay connected. Don't let them get even a 2-score lead may not be the worst thing in the world, but don't let that thing get more than 10 points. If you stay connected through that game, it gives you a chance. And the other thing I've got is I think the best group on the football field between both teams for us to have a chance to win is our defensive line. Our defensive line has to be the most impressive by far of any group on the football field for the entire game. And I think that's another way for us to have an avenue to win. I'm like you. There's avenues for us to win this game. We don't have to be perfect. We don't have to be perfect on either side of the ball. Look at the 22 team. We gave up a scoop and score late in that ball game, but we were able to come back and win. And look at our games this year from an offensive standpoint. We've been down and desperate a couple times this year. Against Georgia, it didn't look good midway through that third quarter. Against Mississippi State, it did not look good. But that's where I feel confident that, with everything you can say. And Aguilar, man, that guy doesn't seem to have a pulse, doesn't seem to be rattled by any situation. So if we can stay connected in that game and give ourselves a chance to win, I feel very confident that Aguilar can make the plays to win a ball game. And to me, that's just huge. We have to stay connected, though. We don't have to get out to a huge lead. And as a matter of fact, it may be better that we don't, because that we may not go into a shell in the second quarter if we don't have a huge lead in the first quarter, like we've done a few times this year. And I'll say this last thing for me is, who's under more pressure to win this game? I think it's Alabama. They're at home. They've already lost. They probably got a much rougher schedule the rest of the season. I'm not sure than we do. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure what the rest of their schedule's like. But I think they've got more pressure to win this game than we do. For us, I don't think we've got anywhere near the pressure to win. If we lose this game, we're kind of where we thought we would be. So, we have to win out to win the thing, but we're going to be favored in most of those in most of those games. So, when this thing gets tight towards the end, I think the pressure is going to be squarely on them to win this game and not on us. What do y'all think of that?
Guys, who carries the pressure? What do y'all think, panel?
I think Alabama, because they lost last year and they're playing at home and they were a 9-point favorite. And their coach sort of, I think, has more pressure than Heupel to win this game because he doesn't want to start off 0-2 against the Vols.
I also think that the Simpson in-state thing adds a little intrigue to that, adds a little pressure to the moment for him. He wants to play well. This is a game around his community that people are always going to look at and point to. He could go out and have an incredible year from here, but if he doesn't play well in this game, he's going to be reminded of it in his community. I think that's a part of the equation too. What do you C and TGMD? What do you guys think from a pressure perspective?
I think obviously with Alabama being favored, you're almost a 10-point favorite in this game. That team's always going to feel a little more pressure, especially being at home. And like Brian said, they lost last year to Tennessee. DeBoer's undefeated at home.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a game. I don't think their schedule's not that tough the rest of the way. They've kind of gotten a lot of it out of the way already. They do have LSU and Oklahoma both at home. So I think they'll probably lose one home game at most, which would probably still get them in the playoffs. And then they have Auburn at the end of the year. So the schedule's not too difficult for them, but yeah, it's not a game you want to lose just because those people, kind of like Kevin said, anytime they lose a game of any kind, it's like the end of the world. So really anytime Alabama plays, I feel like they're probably, maybe when they played at Georgia, it wasn't the case, but almost every game they played, they have more pressure than their opponent, I think.
What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, the pressure's on Bama playing at home as the better team. Losing that Florida State game, while it doesn't really, hold it like that kind of took away all their margin for error the rest of the season. Like they could drop one game and still probably make Atlanta, but like they couldn't lose two because they'd be out. So yeah, it's all on Bama. For a number of those reasons.
And to this point, they played the toughest schedule in the country. I mean, Alabama's had, which is another reason to feel good from a Tennessee perspective. You're probably going to get a group that's tired and a little beat up because eventually the bill's going to come due if you keep getting in the ring in these games, especially in this era where you don't have the depth you once did.
Yeah, Tony, if you think about that, in 2015, we caught Bama after, I think, about 5 or 6 games in a row, and they were tired in that ball game.
Yes,
if you
they were.
Recall, they played very sluggish.
Yep.
They, and once again, we stayed connected to them and even took a late lead in that game.
Yeah.
And that kind of woke them up a little bit. But they were tired. I mean, they had been through it. I mean, they had a tough schedule. I'm not sure exactly what their schedule was, but I remember them talking about. I remember even Saban saying it. We need a break. I think they got an open date after that game, and they were he was talking about how tired they were as a team. So maybe we catch something similar again, and I think that's why staying connected to them, keeping kind of the pressure. You don't have to have a lead, but if you just stay there within striking distance with our offense the way it is, knowing you can get that touchdown at the last second, or last minute, or really quick if you need to. I think that just keeps that tension and that pressure on them, and I think that's to me the key success of that ball game, because defensively we're going to score. We're going to give up a lot of points, and I think also obviously we've got to score in the 30s or 40s to win this thing. But like you said, there's an avenue for us. I think there's multiple avenues, and you don't have to play perfect. You just got to make the big play when it happens. So
yeah, and we don't need any silly stuff on defense, Dave. Thank you, Dave in Ackworth, who wrote a really great email today. You can read it over at tclub.team regarding the termination of Johnny Majors and how it so mirrors what happens with James Franklin. I'd forgotten the Majors games were that close. Go ahead, Brian.
A couple points here about the Majors Franklin comparison. Both were native sons of their states. That's another comparison. And I was going to make a point about Alabama. What's funny is that you think they get such a favorable shake from the SEC officiating, but I remember that one year he was talking about it. They played 8 straight games in a row. Tennessee was coming off a bye week, but LSU always and Alabama seems like they always want their bye before they play each other. So I think that kind of hurt them there. But it's just kind of weird how the schedule makers don't give Alabama the bump that the officiating sometimes does.
This is a perfect spot for Tennessee. You've got an opponent that is playing the 4th of 4 games in a row against ranked opponents. If you were to ask Tennessee, draw up your perfect scenario, you couldn't have drawn this thing up any better. Will it matter? We'll get some more calls in as we continue.
Guests appear on the TLD Logistics hotline, online at tldlogistics.com.
Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contracting. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a two-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A Grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team start at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we're the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our tryouts last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw Premium Vodka. Please drink responsibly.
TB back with you. 865-200-5402. It's flying by today. The playbook with William Pattison going to be up here in a little bit. We'll stay on and talk about it in our TLD Logistics Overdrive. Overtime. In Tier 1 right now, we've got, these are teams that are making the playoffs. We've got Ohio State, Indiana, and Miami following the week. What happens to the Vols, guys, if they win this weekend? Matt, where do the Vols go? They go into Tier 1 or they go to Tier 2?
Tier 2.
Okay, because we have them in Tier 3 right now. Tier 2 coming into the weekend, then we go back to the phones. We have A&M. This was last weekend. We had A&M and Bama. Those 2 teams are still there after last weekend. We had, at that point, the winner of the Georgia-Ole Miss game, which still holds true. Is that right, C? The winner of that game will jump up into Tier 1 this week, yes or no?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, winner of Georgia-Ole Miss goes to Tier 1.
Texas Tech is your 1 bid right now out of the Big 12. That still holds. And then in Tier 3, we had the following teams. We had Indiana.
Oregon, Tier 2. Oregon's also in Tier 2.
Oregon's now Tier 2. All right. So we're going to redraw these as we go, and then we'll go over them. But let's go back to the phones because I don't want to bore you with that. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, guys. Dave.
Hey, Dave. Good to talk to you. What you doing on this sunny day, man?
Well, I guess I'm just sitting here listening to the delusion. Teams with this bad of defense don't win on the road. They just don't. And teams that we've got this great offense or a good offense, we don't play nearly as well on the road offensively as we do at home. Our defense is bad regardless of where we're at. And it's just, I mean, it is what it is, guys. And there's just no excuse for our defense to be this bad. I don't care about I'm talking about our front 7. There's no excuse to be this bad. He didn't address that. He didn't do what he needed to do. If he needed more speed at linebacker, he should have gone out there and tried to get another linebacker. He didn't try to get any defensive tackle. You say he tried. They went after a few. You can't be this bad on defense in year 5. And they're horrible. They're at the bottom of the conference. And that's pathetic in year 5.
You keep saying year 5 like it's year. We don't have programs anymore. We have teams from year to year. Come on, man.
Well, I'm just, I mean, he's just got to do the defense. There's just no excuse to be this poor on defense. There's not, Tony. Can't be this poor on defense. And he's had one season with one good defense, and that was last year. So that's going to be the rarity. Most likely, he's going to have a better than average offense or really good offense, and he is going to always struggle on the other side of the ball, and that is not a recipe to win championships.
Sam in Nashville says that front seven you're belittling has 26 sacks on the year.
Well, I'm just telling you, the stats don't lie.
Well, that's what he's saying. The stats don't lie. What stats are you citing?
I'm citing the gaping holes and runs that Mississippi State ran through us, Arkansas ran through us. I saw Syracuse run up and down the field on us. I saw that UAB team put 24 points on our defense. I'm just saying, you cannot be if you're going to compete for championships, you can't be great on. You have to be good on both sides of the ball, and that's a failure with this head football coach. Now I give him credit; they had a great defense last year, no doubt. Maybe it wasn't as good as like Ohio State great, but it was great in the SEC, and he rode that to the playoffs last year. I give him credit for that, but you cannot be this bad on defense and compete.
Sam in Nashville says over 50% of the points Tennessee has given up have been when they were up 10-plus points with backups or a prevent defense. Why won't you say that? He wants to know why you won't say that.
Well, I watched 17 points in the first half against our starters. And then I watched 14 points in the fourth quarter against our starters versus Arkansas. And did we have backups against Mississippi State?
Matt Dixon, would you care to engage this gentleman and maybe offer your perspective for him? Perhaps take him under wing.
Well, I think he's right with the defense is nowhere close to good enough to compete for championships and really probably not even good enough to make the playoffs unless you show some improvement. The drop off from last year is just shocking because you were great. You were like an elite top 10 defense last year, and the drop off has been just so significant that it doesn't make a ton of sense.
But what do you say to a guy like Sam who says, my point is the last 14 points we gave up against Arkansas don't matter because the game was statistically out of reach by them. We're winning that game 98% of the time, Matt. What do you say to a guy like Sam?
Well, that's also true. But Arkansas still went up and down the field on you. You just created some turnovers against them.
Good defenses don't allow that to happen, Tony. Even if you supposedly are letting them score, the game's already over. You look at the top tier defenses that they're not letting that happen game in, game out. Where there's a garbage time to a point, but it is a reflection of the quality of defense if you're continually letting it happen.
Jeff McCarter toward you, Dave, over on YouTube says, tell Dave to find another team to root for. Quit bashing the Vols and quit bashing the coach with an exclamation point, Dave. What do you say to him?
I love Tennessee, but what I see is troubling, and it shouldn't happen. There's just no way that our defense should be that bad. We've got talent on that side of the ball. It shouldn't be that bad. It just shouldn't be. And you want to blame Banks? Okay. There's blame to go there, but there's blame to go to our head coach. Our defense should never be that bad. It just shouldn't be.
Matt, you agree or disagree?
No, I agree. You shouldn't rank in the hundreds in just about everything. And you shouldn't be so bad situationally. You can't get off the field on third downs. You can't keep teams out of the end zone when they get in the red zone. You give up explosives. You give up, chunk. I mean, it's true. You're just not. They don't look very fundamentally sound, and they just give up so many easy yards.
But why is Sam jocking for them if that's the case? I mean, what am I missing here?
Because he's trying to convince himself that everything's okay, that we can get by with that, and he's just trying to. And it's like anybody, he's trying to convince himself, but there is no convincing. It's that bad, and that's the reason we'll lose by 2+ scores in Tuscaloosa. Will we score some? Sure, but we can't.
So we're gonna
he's gonna. I mean, they got Bernard, Williams. They got. They're gonna. I mean, it's gonna be Swiss cheese, man.
Mark Cofield wants you buy your device Saturday night because he says he's gonna cut a promo on you for the ages, my friend. A promo for you.
Listen. Trust me, I'll be on hold in the fourth quarter of that game to get on the show.
If we're winning by 2 touchdowns,
I'll be on hold regardless.
Go on, Negative. Let's do it, man.
Y'all have a great day.
Thank you. Dixon, does Negative drive you nuts?
It gets a little tiring, but a lot of his points are valid. I mean, a lot of the stuff there, it's hard to argue with. He might go to the extreme with them and then beat him home to death every time he calls in, but they're very valid points, like almost all of them.
Well, here's some motivation for Joey Aguilar from Greg McElroy, who's calling the game Saturday, by the way.
Yes.
He says he's not the biggest fan of Joey Aguilar. He goes, I'm not the biggest fan, but I've liked what I've seen. I think he does a good enough job. He's not a real threat as a runner, which does make things a little bit easier. That's a Fox Sports Knoxville report.
He's not a big fan as a runner. And not a big threat as a runner. Does he watch football? The kid's pretty good with his feet.
Did he see the last quarterback Tennessee had?
Yeah, because that guy's turned into Michael Vick overnight. He's the Polynesian Vic.
He sure didn't do that last year.
He's the Vic of Polynesia. We need to come up with a nickname for Nico. Nico needs a nickname. It's like the Polynesian pogo stick out there, the way he runs around. I liked the work earlier in the hour that our boy dropped on us about the acronym SEC. Swiftly eradicating coaches. That is about the truth. That is about the truth. Because what the guy in Indiana's done, guys, has sped up everybody's timeline. If you don't win, Pineapple Vic is not bad. If you don't win right away, you're in big trouble in these gigs now. Big trouble. Because the guy at Indiana's made it look easy, y'all. I'm not sure if it is that easy, but he's made it look easy. Hello and welcome into our next call. You are live on our Thursday edition. Hi.
Hey, Tony. Chris from Birmingham. How you doing?
Hey, Chris. Great to talk to you in the belly of the beasts.
Yeah, we're on our way to meet family from Pennsylvania, for a wedding in Sevierville. How about that?
Wow, it's a small world, my friend. Good luck to everybody involved.
Yeah. So, hey, got an idea, a thought, and a question. The idea is that you should get some sponsor to sponsor the callback line, so that when I call in 184 times to get in, you have that thing on there that says, "Hey, if you just want us to call you back on the somebody sponsored call-in line, then we'll call you back." And then when you take the call, you can just say, "Hey, so-and-so is calling in on the whatever sponsored call-in line." You make some more money that way.
Can you execute that? Is there a way to have a callback line? That's news to me, man. I didn't know that, because I have people tell me that on the Garza Law fifth quarter fan reaction, they'll call the show I had one guy show me one time. He called literally like 98 times and couldn't get through, which I'm going, wow, I had no idea the show's that busy.
No, I'm serious. I called 184 times before I got in just now.
Today?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
I'm totally
gosh, man.
serious.
That's crazy.
Well,
I got to get
you're
with
the man,
Laura on
so
that.
what
Let's
do
see
you
if we
say?
can get a callback line. I like that. Or maybe we can have her in there, work like plugging the switchboard, like doing the old plugs like they used to back in the day, like when they rerouted Lee Harvey Oswald's phone call and told them that
Yeah,
that
and
person
hey,
wasn't there in the Carolinas.
If you make some money on it, you can donate a little bit of that to our little church in Birmingham, and we'll be
There you go.
talking about Tony Basilio all week long.
There you
So,
go. God
know.
bless you, brother. God bless you.
But here's the deal. That guy just called in, and I know what you call him, but I'm not even going to dignify it by saying his name, because here's the deal. He says Tennessee's defense is so bad. Well, why does he think that Bama's offense is so good? They scored 73 points, I think it was, against Louisiana. And then the most points that they've had otherwise was 38 against a horrible Wisconsin team, and they hadn't touched 30 otherwise. Why do we have Bama's offense made out to be the greatest thing since I don't know? I mean, what's the deal? They're not invincible.
No, it's a very winnable game. You know that from being there. That's a beatable football team. They've got flaws. You heard Kevin Skarbinski say they're going to make a change at tackle. He thinks they're going to make a change at tackle. Matt, that's not a good sign. When you're changing your offensive tackle, your right tackle, at this point in the year, Matt, that's not a good sign. Not a good sign at all.
So they've hit 30 twice.
Yep.
Against a bad Wisconsin team and a worse Louisiana team. It doesn't sound very invincible to me. Here's my question for y'all, and I'll get off it because I want to hear what you guys have to say.
Yep.
So what do you guys think is the over-under on the number of penalties? Because I was listening to y'all talk to Watson yesterday, and what do y'all think is the over-under on the number of penalties that need to be called against Bama for us to win?
Matt?
I'm totally serious.
No, Matt, where are you? What number of flags do we need to have, and what number of flags do they need to have, Matt?
I don't know about a specific number, but you've got to get a couple of defensive PI calls on them, I think.
Holding calls?
No,
you can't have your usual couple of false starts after key first downs, or like a really bad holding call, or some fluky thing have. You can't afford to have those happen.
And that's my biggest concern with us is we couldn't execute offensively when we had a quiet crowd in our building and a bad Arkansas defense in front of us. What makes you think we're going to play a clean football game there? I would love to think we're going to play a clean football game there, but unfortunately we're not playing very clean offensively either at this point. We're just not.
Yeah, but you all know how a stranglehold on Joseph or whoever else.
Oh, I agree with that.
I mean, they got to call that.
Arkansas was holding.
You get two or three of those in the game, and there's a lot that looks different when you get two or three holding calls against the whole team. Bloodied up Crimson Tide, and you get those calls, and that's a game changer.
Yep. I agree with that. Thank you. And it's a great call. The problem is you're not going to get those calls at Alabama. You're just not. You're just not. Just like Auburn got job when they went to Oklahoma. The only team that doesn't get a home whistle, there are two of them in this league in games of consequence, are us and Auburn. And I don't know what our guy did to the officials, but he won't say anything publicly about it. And until he does, I'm not sure that's going to change. I'm just not sure that's going to change, but I appreciate the call nonetheless. Great talking to you. Hope you have a safe trip up here. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on our Thursday edition TLD Logistics phone lines. Hi.
Hey, Tony. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, Greg. Welcome in.
Hey, let me tell you how you can put the pressure on the SEC.
All right.
Since that last comment you made before you connected with me, I know their office phone number is probably public.
Yep.
But my suggestion for you and any other sports show involving Tennessee that have a website, whatever, put their number on your website.
Greg, hang right there. I'm going to let you finish your thought because I just looked at the clock. We're heading for a TLD Logistics Overdrive overtime. Greg's going to hang with us. Greg's ready to make the phone ring down there. Make it ring. Make it ring as we continue with more after this.
This October, Pipe Wrench is serving up scary good savings with no tricks and just treats for your home comfort. This month only, you can get a free furnace upgrade with qualifying HVAC system installation, a free sediment filter with water heater installation, or protect your home's comfort with HVAC tune-up and plumbing system check bundle for just $129. Forget the tricks of surprise breakdowns, costly repairs, and high utility bills, as our limited time offers are designed to keep you cozy, comfortable, and confident all season long. Pipe Wrench is always your partner for energy-efficient and cost-effective upgrades that keep your family comfortable and safe year-round. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. You better hurry, because just like Halloween candy, these offers disappear after October 31st. Call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a two-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Achillio here, and you know my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery, so you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company. Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. Basilio here reminding you that when you want to sell your extra tickets to the game, you don't want to give your life away online with all your personal information just because you want to sell a few extra tickets. Clark Moore at Select Ticket Service will gladly buy your extra game tickets and your extra parking passes. And the best part? Clarky Boy pays cash. 865-919-1016. 865-919-1016. Clarky Boy pays cash at Select Ticket Service. Clarky Boy pays cash. Tony, be back with you. 865-200-5402, the playbook. with William Pattison on the way next for you. I got to hand it to Negative because it has been just an absolutely beautiful week here in East Tennessee. And Greg's in Columbia will be back with us here momentarily. AC, what was his reply when I asked him about this bright, beautiful weather and this bright, sunshiny day we're having today? What was his reply?
He said, yeah, I'm sitting around enjoying your all's delusion.
You talk about just a bowl of cherries, man. The guy's got fans and the guy's got detractors. I'll give him that. He's got fans, though. Tomorrow we're live at Calhoun's on the River. Tomorrow, Dale Jones will be with us breaking the game down scientifically. Dale's watching the video on the Vols in Alabama and is going to walk us inside what he thinks each team is going to try and accomplish in this game. I look forward to that. Hughie will be with us tomorrow as well. Just a huge, huge weekend in the SEC. I know the Vols are on the road, but get down and support us if you get the opportunity. In the meantime, William Pattison in the Playbook will have you up next. We'll stay here over at tclub.team where we've got a stellar blog up for you today. Tomorrow's will be better, but over at tclub.team today we've got some great stuff, including the WeShipFloors.com, Tennessee Hardwood Report, and more. But in the meantime, I love you. I appreciate you. The Playbook with the man, the legend, William Pattison on the way next. Peace.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Let's go, man. Greg's going to come scientifically at us here. Greg going to come at us scientifically.
It's TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime, presented by TLD Logistics. Online at tldlogistics.com.
Mark Cofield said, I'm going to be enjoying his delusion on Saturdays. We break that clipboard out.
And
Joshy
now let's
Boy's
go to the guys with
clipboard.
today's edition of TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime.
He said straight up Dave's negative ass, Matt Dixon. Your thoughts on that? Dave's negative ass.
I hope so. That'd be a lot of fun.
It's like yesterday. Yeah, it would be a lot of fun. You imagine how late we'll be up, Matt, if we win that game?
The wee small hours.
The wee small hours. Howdy has a question for us, Matt. He's asked it like 7 times, so let's go to Greg. Greg don't want me to do that. Greg, I got to get you back in here. Greg, thank you so much. Thank you for your patience, Greg. Howdy was going to try to pull me off the topic here. You're ready to get a letter writing campaign going to the league, aren't you, buddy?
Hey, guys, it's gotten to the very ridiculous part of sport. And I looked online after last weekend, and I don't know how many top podcasters were talking about SEC officiating. It happened last year. In my opinion, it's happened every damn year. You don't ever hear any other conference going crazy about stupid calls teams are getting. And it's got to stop. Alabama is one of the teams in the SEC. I know everybody would agree with me. They've gotten more calls that help them go to the winning side for years. And everybody's tired of it. And you got to, SEC, Greg Sankey works for the president of the university. He don't just work for himself in the SEC. I mean, there's got to be some pressure put on by somebody. The fans, if Greg Sankey's number could get put out and the fans flood him with calls or flood their office with calls, this crowd would get corrected quickly within the next week. But I don't want to hang on that so much. Let me ask you guys, and I'll get off of here, about the Tennessee game coming up this weekend. we don't normally take the ball if we win the flip before the game. I think we should take it and have the plays ready to go and kick butt downfield and go down and take a 7-point lead and then turn it over to the defense. That's what I love to see. I would love to see them meaning business and take the kickoff.
TGMD, what do you say to that? Take the ball. Deviate from the septum.
Well, you have to win the toss first, and I'm pretty sure Tennessee's lost every toss this year, including both overtimes. So,
wow, how is that possible? Are these officials fixing this?
Awful. Our captains are awful. I'm surprised Negative hadn't ripped our captains for the coin.
They weighted down the coin. Is what they did.
Do they say heads you win, tails you lose? One of those deals. Heads I win, tails you lose, and our captains fall for it, Greg. And by the way, Greg,
heads you win and tails you win.
A friend of mine that's a media member just reached out to me, tells me he's got Greg Sankey's personal cell phone. Greg, call the shot. Should we publish it, yes or no? His personal cell phone, yes or no? Has it gotten to that point yet, Greg?
Yeah, I really do believe that, because he's not saying anything about it, Tony, especially on that hidden receiver and then the Georgia game. He ain't said a word.
All right, I'm going to give it to Matt Dixon. I'm going to let Matt Dixon tweet it out later.
What about his address, Tony?
Greg, what do you think? Address, or is that gone too far?
As good as the license plate.
No, come on, guys. Let's be serious here. Greg, his address, yes or no?
I don't think you should do that. I think you should do the SEC address.
How about personal cell phone? Because then he'd have to
That's
change
up
his
to
number.
You guys.
Then he'd have to. Well, you just told me to do it.
I don't know. Well, I'm sure it's a business cell phone. Yeah, go ahead and get it.
Greg, you're the man. Thank you. I'd love to get his burner phone. I carry 2 phones. People say, why do you carry 2 phones? I said, what business is it of yours? I got 2 phones. I'm a man. I'm 40. And I don't have any hair on my head. What do you think? Greg Z said Greg's wanting to dock Sankey. It's pretty next level. All right, Tier 1. Coming into this weekend, we've got Ohio State, Indiana, Miami. Are we adding anybody to Tier 1 after last weekend? Yes or no?
No.
All right. We did this last week. We're going to get calls in, actually, this time. Tier 2, we've got Oregon, A&M, Bama, Georgia, or Ole Miss, along with Texas Tech. Anybody else belong in Tier 2 heading into the weekend? Matt Dixon.
This says Notre Dame is maybe a Tier 2.
The Notre Dame USC winner.
If Notre Dame wins this weekend, they're almost borderline Tier 1.
All right, so I've got Notre Dame USC winner will jump to Tier 2 after this week. Notre Dame, maybe, I'll make a little note here because they're in Tier 3 right now. Both those are in Tier 3. Maybe Tier 1 because they're not going to lose the rest of the way. Their schedule is
very easy schedule.
Their schedule's gross the rest of the way. USC, are they eliminated if they lose here, or they still could they?
No.
They could get that 4th. So
they still can beat Oregon. They have to win one of this game or Oregon.
Tier 3,
which is, I think, doable.
Tier 3 coming into the weekend is Missouri, Tennessee, LSU, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt. Basically, the league, the upper middle of the league is Tier 3 right now, along with Notre Dame or USC. Who else belongs in Tier 3?
Did we say Texas?
No.
Texas. Here, I was going to ask Matt this. I think now with Texas, what they have left, they just need to split Georgia and A&M. Do we agree with that? And they're in?
I think so.
I think Texas is probably Tier 2. I think they're ahead of, clearly ahead of.
Yeah, especially if A&M kind of is a playoff game or in Atlanta for sure.
And that's the significance of the Red River game. They jump 2 tiers.
I think they're
the
tier
Red River
2
game.
because I think
All
they
right.
could still lose another game and still get in.
All right, we'll put them there in tier 2. All right, tier 5, we move Vanderbilt from tier 5 all the way to tier 3. We also have Illinois. Are they out? C, or are they still hanging on?
I mean, they got Ohio State kind of beat them up probably even worse than Indiana did. Illinois is not making it unless Illinois has no path to make it.
Illinois has plus 50,000 here.
The loser of Michigan USC will go down to tier 5 or tier 3, tier 4.
That game was last week, and
right.
Michigan lost it.
And Michigan's
not making the playoffs.
So Michigan's out.
They're plus 20,000.
Utah, we had them in tier 5 last week. In or out?
Same place. They beat Arizona State badly with the backup quarterback. Utah still, I guess, if they won out, could. I think that we're talking about the same thing with the Big 12. Utah's probably not getting in unless they win the Big 12, but they could beat Texas Tech in a rematch. I think.
Cincinnati, same thing.
Same thing. Yeah.
TCU, same thing, and then Auburn's out.
I would say the only team that I would say could possibly be tier 4 maybe is Nebraska. Nebraska has a very easy schedule. I don't think they're very good at all, but they do have a schedule that's very navigable. And if they somehow won out, I think they could possibly get in that large bid.
See, how about our Nebraska
But I don't think
boys?
it's going to happen. I don't think they're going to win out. They're going to be an underdog a couple games. Their schedule is very easy, very winnable on paper. They don't have any of the big boys on their schedule.
How about our Nebraska boys? See, what do you think? Tier 4, just put them there for now.
I think that's fair.
They joined Georgia Tech, C, on the radar. They joined
Washington should be around there. Washington should be around the same place.
USC on the radar.
You got Duke as well.
Tier 3.
Duke.
Washington.
Yeah, Duke. That's a good one, Brian.
We'll put Duke.
Virginia.
Louisville, Virginia.
We'll move Virginia.
Washington.
And Duke.
USC is tier 3.
Yeah, I got USC in tier 3. USC and Notre Dame this week. The winner, if it's Notre Dame, will jump to tier 1. So here's who tier 1 is. Then we go back to the phones. Ohio State really is in already. They're just in. I know we don't want to hear that, but they're in. Indiana, Matt, somebody called them a fraud earlier over on YouTube. Matt, do you find Indiana a fraudulent football team, yes or no?
Well, no, of course not. No, they're not a fraud at all.
Are they capable, you think, of getting in and winning playoff games this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they can win a game or two in the playoffs. Yeah.
How about them if they got to a damn national semifinal? How crazy that would be. All right, where were we? Okay, so that's tier 1. Tier 2 is Oregon, A&M, Bama. Georgia or Ole Miss are in tier 2 now, along with Texas Tech. And we're going off the supposition that the Big 12 is a one-bid league. So that means that coming into this weekend, there are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, when you count Tech. The Tennessee's in that next tier. There will be 2 spots for these teams. 2 spots for Missouri, Tennessee, LSU, Oklahoma, Vandy, and then Notre Dame, USC. 2 spots left. Is that right, guys?
Yeah, I think the playoff, Ohio State, Miami, Indiana. And then I think there's going to be 4 Big Ten or Notre Dame spots, if that makes sense. Like, I think if USC beats Notre Dame, it'll knock them out, but that would be Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, and then USC or Notre Dame most likely is 4.
Yes.
So that league, and then if the other bids are one-bid leagues, there would be 5 spots for the SEC. And we're assuming Bama, A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss. And that would leave 1 spot for Texas, LSU, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Vandy, Missouri.
Yeah, it's going to be a really close shave for us. A win Saturday would mean what to us, Matt? What happens to us if we win Saturday? Do we jump into tier 2 or do we jump into tier 1 in your mind, Matt, which means a surefire playoff bid?
You're tier 2. You're never going to be in tier 1 unless you go into Atlanta with 1 loss.
You guys agree You guys agree with that? I think that's right.
Yeah, tier 2 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have now you have no wins of any consequence.
I think
at all.
there's probably a 20 to 30% chance they're in now, and if they beat Bama, it probably goes up to close to 50, if not more.
Yeah, that's fair.
I agree with that, Brian.
Howdy is a 22-year-old kid who showed up over here on YouTube, Matt. He has a question. How many years without either an SEC title or a national title do we go with Josh Heupel before letting him go? Are we just happy with 9 or 10 win seasons? Matt, what do you say to a young man like that? You have a little more mileage on your tires than he does. What do you say, Matt?
It's playoff appearances instead of SEC titles, unfortunately. I mean, it depends on how often you're making the playoffs and if you're winning playoff games, I think. That's what it comes down to.
See, do you agree with that?
Yeah, and I think that in some ways we talk about how this era makes it tougher for coaches because there's less gratification. But I do think it's easier in one sense because you can point to a playoff now as a coach as an accomplishment. Whereas I think Tennessee's obviously it's much easier to make a playoff than it is to win an SEC title in the old days. So that's one thing that is working in his favor. So yeah, it'll probably come down to I don't think seasons like last year are gonna like if they go one if they make the playoff and go one and done. I'd be interested to see kind of how fans react to that. I think just naturally you're not going to be as accepting of it the more it goes on.
Be like the James Franklin people at Penn State. Eventually, that new car shine wears off, and they want something else. I think that Heupel's done. But the thing that Heupel's done, guys, is he's had some big time loud wins, unlike James Franklin, Matt. He's had some what you would call James Franklin had one lucky win against Ohio State. It was one lucky win. This guy is even Steven with Alabama right now. Yes, Matt? What do you think?
He's 4-0 against Bama in Florida at Neyland Stadium.
It's hard to beat.
And that really big win at Oklahoma. Again, Oklahoma wasn't very good. That was their first SEC game. Returning there, that was a really big win. You won at LSU. You've got some notable wins that you've racked up.
And that's the thing Franklin hadn't done. And to a guy like Howdy, I'd say, Howdy, we can do a whole lot worse, big boy. But I've been in your shoes at one time. I was 22 years old and mad at Johnny Majors and wanted him fired and this, that, and the other. And, so I was your age at one time that thought we were going to win all the games. You're never going to win all the games. C, why don't you welcome our next caller in? Go ahead, C.
WLN, is that you?
That's me. How my friends compatriots are doing?
Welcome in, buddy. Just a good guess. Good guess.
How'd you know it was me?
Just a good guess, man. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great. Tony, you said a great thing. We all used to think we'd go undefeated. Look, we're 5-1. Even if we lose this game, we're 5-2, and if we win out, we're on the inside of the bubble, at least. And
hey, guys, we stay.
And
let me ask you, panel, this, and I ask you, W. Lynn, are we in Tier 3 even with a loss Saturday, guys? We're still in Tier 3.
It's close.
Yeah, I think that's right. Do you guys agree with that? We stay in Tier 3 with a loss Saturday.
I don't think a loss would knock them out, no.
Yeah, I agree with that. Kind of like Missouri last week against Bama.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And some of these people, Tony, in memory and honor of Coach Majors, you could have a Legion of the Miserable top 10 caller list. Just for fun one day. I don't know. We got a win's a win, Yeah, we give up yards. We give up a lot of plays, but we make turnovers. We make them punt. It's just that's the nature of the game now. So I'm just happy as a lark, as they used to say down here, to be 5-1 right now. So I've got my own tiers, Tony. I call it level 1 and level 2. And what I'm looking at is all the top 20 teams. How many top 20 teams do they have left? And how many rank 21 through receiving votes, which is another 20? And believe it or not, Ohio State has 0 top 20. Miami has 0 top 20. Indiana has 0 top 20.
You mean?
So we might as well wish those teams just go undefeated. So there's no spoiler in those silly championship games. You see what I'm saying?
So you're saying that Ohio State has what top 20 wins, like 0 top 20 wins?
No, top 20. This is opponents left on your schedule.
Okay.
All they have is a receiving votes Michigan.
Right.
Miami has 0. They have receiving votes Louisville and Pitt. Indiana doesn't even have anybody receiving votes. So
yeah, the Big Ten, every SEC team has a bunch of games left against ranked teams, and the Big Ten and ACC, there's few and far between.
Every ACC team has 3 games left against the top 20 except Ole Miss. They only have 2. Oklahoma has 5, and Vandy has 4, and LSU has 4. Oregon has 0 top 20. They've got 3 in the receiving votes in USC's 21 category. So, what I'm saying about Ohio State, Miami, and Indiana, just go ahead and let them go undefeated and clear everybody out. And, let Miami maybe be just the only representative from the ACC. And then we know Ohio State and Indiana are probably both in. Don't let
it sounds like the Big Ten
them and end up 10-2.
For like 3 spots, and then you could have 1 for the ACC, Big 12, and then Notre Dame, and then that would leave 6 for the SEC, maybe 5 or 6.
And speaking of Notre Dame,
yeah,
exactly. Notre Dame has 0 top 20. They got USC in the 21st position. So we do need them. Maybe Navy can upset them. Navy's 6-0. They're receiving votes, But it's interesting that the SEC and the coaches poll, we have 10 of the top 20 teams. The Big Ten only has 3.
I like the service academies, but not when they play Notre Dame. I learned that last year the hard way.
Don't bet on it. Yeah, don't bet on it, because Notre Dame is playing right now to run the score up on everybody they can, just like they did against Arkansas. That's their whole goal. And, these championship games, I think, you might have said that doesn't mean anything anymore. In the Final Four last year of the playoffs, how many teams did we have that won the Power Four championship games?
Notre Dame,
Texas.
Texas lost to Georgia.
Yeah, all the teams with byes lost in the playoffs.
Yes, that's right.
And we only had 2 teams, Texas and Penn State, that lost in their championship game. So
that's right.
Out of the 8 teams that played in the Power Four championship games, only 2 got to the semifinal. That's a meaningless extra game. We do not want to be in that. I hate to tell people that.
And Carson Beck got hurt in that game, WLN.
What's that?
Carson Beck got hurt in that game, which
yes, he
adds
did.
to your point.
And then even if you don't have somebody officially hurt, you're going to beat yourself up and have people, kind of hurt. And then you have to take a month off, which might be good if you got somebody hurt. But I don't think you're ready to go waiting all the way to January 1st either. So I just don't think it's that big of an advantage. And look, for all the callers, I know we're not a perfect team, but who is at this point? We control our own destiny. And even if we lose, we control our own destiny about 90% worth. So
WLN,
let's stick behind the big orange. If you're going down there, cheer loud and stay safe.
It's a great phone call, WLN. I love you. And you can believe that WLN means that the thing about WLN is when he tells you something, it is with full breath. Full-throated. Not to be confused with Orange Throated, who will be with us tomorrow over at tclub.team. Tier 1 right now, we've got Ohio State, Indiana, Miami locked in. Oregon's in Tier 2 after their loss last week. They were in Tier 1. That's what happens. Alabama, A&M, Georgia or Texas, or Georgia or Ole Miss. Texas
The
is
winner
in
of
Tier
Georgia
2.
Ole Miss goes to Tier 1, right?
Yes.
Did we say that?
Yes. And then we have one Big 12 representative. Tier 3 right now is Missouri, Tennessee, LSU, Oklahoma, Vandy. If Vanderbilt, Matt, defeats LSU tomorrow, do they jump to Tier 2 in your humble opinion? Or on Saturday, rather?
No, they stay in Tier 3.
They stay in Tier 3, okay. All right. Georgia Tech, do we move them at all, guys? They're in Tier 4 right now. They're breathing down somebody's throat. Georgia Tech still there? Tier 4, guys?
I think they're still there, yeah. I don't think the ACC is going to get 2 bids unless the Georgia Tech – we talked about this last week. I think Georgia Tech needs to beat either Georgia or Miami to get in as a second team.
Beat?
You know,
down here.
There's a pretty significant gap between where they have teams with plus 5,000, then it's plus 7,500, then it's plus 15,000. And Georgia Tech's the first team listed at plus 15,000.
Yeah, which makes sense. That's our Tier 4. That means you're gonna need a lot of help. Yeah, we're following the numbers pretty much. Washington is in here as well.
That's a 14 tier according to this one.
Yeah, they're in Tier 4. We've got BYU, who continues to win, but their schedule's very hard by BYU standards. See, they're smoke and mirrors winning. I mean, Butch Jones would be proud of that. The game Butch Jones won the other night.
Yeah, we were watching that on Guards Law Firm. I had the live number with Arizona after Washington or BYU jumped out, and luckily they did not get that 2-point conversion.
We're going to put Virginia in here and Duke. They're going to be in Tier 4
yeah,
as well.
Fair. Nebraska needs to be probably
4.
Tier 3 or Tier 4.
Yeah, I got them in Tier 4. Should we put them at 3, Matt? What do you think? You follow Nebraska.
No, they're not. They're nowhere close to good enough to.
Yeah,
who do they have left,
they're plus
guys?
70. They're plus 70 grand.
Who do they have left, guys?
I'll read you their schedule. It is an interesting. Okay, so they have Minnesota tomorrow night.
It's winnable.
They're 8.5 point favorites, whatever that number is
that's
right
winnable.
now.
Yes.
Then they play Northwestern at home next week.
That's a win.
Or in 2 weeks. No, next week. Then they play USC at home. Will be an elimination game. And then they close with at UCLA, at Penn State, Iowa at home.
Matt?
They're losing at least 2 of those.
I agree with that, but they don't.
At least.
They do not have to play. They just got a very easy schedule. They don't have to play Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana.
We'll keep them in Tier 4 for now for history reasons. But that's a navigable schedule. And they have to get through that, with 1 loss to get in or 2 losses? I mean, 1 loss or no losses to get.
Well, if they lose to USC, I think that's going to be the end of them. They're going to be underdogs in that game.
One thing to look at is these coaches that are mentioned for other jobs like that. How will their teams be distracted?
That's exactly
right. Will they be
Brian.
distracted?
That's exactly
There's going to be a lot of that.
That's exactly right.
And they're going to have playoff teams.
Rule gave about as good of an answer as you can give when he was asked about that Penn State job.
What did he say, Matt?
He talked about how he loves Penn State. He met his wife there, their families. It was a really interesting thing. He talked glowingly about Penn State and everything, but then he was also just kind of shut it down and said he's not talking about any of it. But it was from a PR standpoint, it was probably the best answer I've heard a coach give when they're asked about a job, especially one that they actually have personal ties to.
Back to the phones we go.
He talked about how he knows the AD.
Like an honest answer.
It was a really good answer.
Like an honest answer for once, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounded really
nice. Hired him at Temple, right?
Yeah, he was great at Temple. Okay, Tier 5. He got Temple on College Game Day. I mean, which is just it's impossible to do that. They played Notre Dame. A close game that night. In Tier 5, I've got Illinois. These are teams that are still alive. Who else is still alive, guys? Just barely breathing.
Virginia.
No, we have them in Tier 4.
Michigan.
Michigan's barely breathing. All right.
Clemson is right there with them.
I don't
done.
think so. Clemson's done.
They're done. They can't even win their league now. They have 3 losses. Hello and welcome in. You're on our TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime on this Thursday. Hi.
Hey, Tony. What's going on, man?
Hey, Josh. Welcome in.
Hey, y'all probably already talked about this, but is Jim Miller going to play?
We don't know. He's in concussion protocol. We have no idea.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal.
Big deal.
Also, Matt, their defense, it seems to be pretty good in the past, but have struggled with the run. Is that personnel, or is that style of play? Is that opponent? What's the deal on Alabama defense?
I'm sorry, I got these.
Now that wasn't around as much when Saban was at first in his tenure there.
Hey, Matt, what about their run defense? UNC, talk to me here.
I think it's kind of scheme related because they've just always struggled with it. That's probably why they're playing a little bit more zone this year, because mobile quarterbacks have gotten the best of them. But I just don't think they're great against the run, because I mean the personnel plays a somewhat of a factor. So I mean there's obviously a drop off, and they just don't have like elite defensive linemen. Probably not. I'm not even sure they have like an all SEC type defensive lineman. So that plays into it. But I just think their scheme, they kind of give up a lot of stuff in the run game. You can kind of gash them. And their DBs do not tackle well in space. At least they didn't last week, and that's a way for Tennessee to steal some yards on the outside.
Fun. It's going to be a really good, interesting matchup, isn't it? Big Josh.
Yep. Did Staley come back in the game? Is he okay? Do y'all know? I heard Bear say he came back in late in the game, but
I didn't see him. But my belief is he's going to play this weekend.
Tony, I don't know. As the week goes along, nobody really believes that Tennessee can win this game.
Yep.
Alabama's won 3 straight. They've had 3 straight big wins. They're kind of getting a little strut in their walk. You're hearing Heisman talk.
Yep.
Playoff seedings.
Yep.
I don't know, man. The way this league has went this year, it's got a habit of humbling people right at a key time. I think we got a chance. We just have to play an A-plus game on offense. We cannot turn the ball over. And Aguilar, when we get opportunities to have big plays, explosive plays, we've got to hit them and execute.
Yeah, and then my other thing is defensively, we've got to be somewhat formidable in the game. Do we have one in us? I think the key on defense is really getting to Simpson. I don't want to hurt him, but I wouldn't mind seeing him have to go out a play or two. I mean, we have to pressure him. Florida State gave you the diagram on how to go after him. They've adjusted, but they're not as good up front on their offensive line as they've been over the years, and you have to pressure him. You just can't sit back and try to, get home with 4 all the time. You got to really dial it up, I think, Tony. Yes, sir.
So, I don't know, man. I hope we can win it. Damn, this is a game for me. So, I just, I want to see us have opportunity to win this game. It's a huge game. So, anyway, y'all hang in there. See you guys.
Thank you, my brother. On our YouTube chat, there's a sidebar thing about Joey football getting another year after this year. We did the math on it. That's not going to happen. He's in his 7th year of college right now. This guy's been at it since 2019. When you look at his clock ticking, he's not going to get another year. It's not the same as Pavia. Go ahead, C, and then we'll go back to the phones.
I was going to say, there's a report out there this morning that the NCAA has decided to table the 5-for-5 thing. The
wow.
eliminating red shirts and 5 for 5. They're not going forward with that
because that would make way too much sense.
Yeah, so it's going to stick with what we've had, which is 4 to 5 to play for.
Which is even more reason why you're never going to see him back here next year. So back to the phones we go. Matt, do you suspect, I mean, we're ways away from it, but do you suspect that the Vols will find a bridge veteran quarterback, or will they roll with those two kids next year against that really hard schedule? What would you suspect they do?
I think they'll roll with McIntyre and Faison going in the next year. Unless, I mean, you can find somebody, but it would have to be one of those. Like, I just don't know what kind of quarterback would want to come and where they're not guaranteed to start. And it would have to be one of those players that's wanting to get in the coaching, that just wants to kind of be a camp arm, so to speak, and is okay being a backup. But I mean, you could see them do. I mean, they can try it.
Well, I would try it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think I would try it.
It's not really an appealing position to be recruiting into from Tennessee's perspective.
Like a Keller,
they'd have to go get
Crest.
like a wide receiver to come with them, like a couple wide receivers from the portal, like say a Dallas Wilson or something like that, to make it attractive.
I was thinking like a Keller Crest, somebody like that.
Yeah, somebody like that.
Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in on your TLD Logistics phone line. You're on the air. It's TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Hi.
Hey, what's up, guys? Josh.
Hey, Josh. Welcome in.
Well, if we weren't bringing in Faison next year and we didn't have McIntyre, my option would be go after that North Texas quarterback that's lighting it up this season.
He's not a bad player. He's going to help somebody next year. I know that.
Yeah, he will. Yeah.
Oh, he's going to be a package deal with his head coach.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Good point,
Dixie,
Matt.
if you remember the head coach, he was Cam Ward's offensive coordinator with Washington State at Incarnate Word, too.
That's good. I like guys like that. Lifers, man.
Yeah. So, guys, what do we think happens Saturday? Do we think Banks finally figures it out on defense and calls a decent game, or do we think the defense plays like shit again?
You know, I don't think it's a Banks issue. Just like I don't think he was as great as you thought he was last year. I think it's a personnel issue. Look, what are you going to do when you have that safety play? I mean, what's anybody going to do when you have that safety play? You're going to get ripped apart.
Right.
So,
I
Matt,
mean, the safeties are doing all they can this season. I get it without Gibson and McCoy, but how can you let three teams run on you for 200-plus yards? Georgia, Mississippi State, and Arkansas.
Bad angles, man, and quarterbacks that can run a little bit. Bad angles and quarterbacks that can run around would be the way I'd say that.
Yeah.
Is it fixable?
What do you think, C and Matt? Is it fixable? Brian asks.
No, I mean, I don't know. I think it's at this point in the season, it's kind of where you are. As far as maybe if you get some guys back, it would be a little more fixable. But no, I mean, I don't think you should be at this point in the season expecting your team to just be fixed overnight or improve overnight at things that you've struggled with against worse competition for 6 weeks here.
Like a guy at a previous station me and Bri were at, I mean, I got that fix. I don't think you're going to get it fixed. I don't think you're going to be able to say I got that fix overnight.
I don't think so either. And I know we won the games, but we could easily be staring down 2 or 3 losses right now if we didn't win in overtime against Mississippi State.
Sure.
And we didn't get 3 turnovers against Arkansas Saturday.
That's the case with everybody. Georgia should have a couple losses right now, even more than the one they have. Alabama easily could have lost last weekend. So this thing is
they could have.
This is Razor's Edge City here right now.
Yeah, it is. And Tony, I don't think people realize that Indiana team could probably beat half the SEC. I think a lot of our fans underestimate that Indiana team. They're pretty damn good.
That's a good question. Guys, where would that Indiana team finish if they had Tennessee scheduled at the end of the year, Matt? What do you think? What do you think the number would be next to their name?
They'd be at least 5-1 right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
They'd be 10-2 at worst.
Yeah, I would say 10-2 would probably be the guess.
Yeah, they're pretty damn good, Josh.
Because I feel like the only teams in the SEC they would lose to would be Georgia, Alabama, and they would maybe lose to us, and I think they would beat the rest of the SEC teams if you had to put them on a neutral field against each other.
Yep.
I think they beat Georgia.
They're better than Georgia for sure.
Especially that early in the season before any kind of depth issues crept up. I think they would have beaten Georgia at home.
They used to be an annual opponent of Kentucky. Imagine how bad they'd beat Kentucky.
Oh my gosh, Brian! What a great thought that is. Imagine if that guy they would have rolled up on Kentucky's schedule early September.
Yeah.
Signetti would have beaten him 55 to 12.
Yeah, it'd be a basketball score. It'd put 70 on them.
Oh, they beat the shit out of him, and they would not have even. He wouldn't have apologized for 1 second.
So, Mr. C, you don't think I should rip my USC to make the playoff ticket yet if they do end up losing to Notre Dame Saturday?
No, but you're going to need a win against Oregon, which is I don't think that's out of the. I don't think Oregon. I'm not a big Dante Moore guy. I don't think Oregon's all that great. That's a winnable. I think they could win more than
that
this too.
USC team goes in South Bend, and I think they beat Notre Dame Saturday night.
What do you think they'll do to them, Joshy?
I feel like people are underestimating them in that game. I feel like that line should be a little bit lower than it is. I'd say about 7.5 Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think that's what it opened up. USC's been a little bit banged up. They're not super healthy. I know they have a walk-on starting at running back, right?
Yes.
But he did run it well against Michigan.
They played almost too well versus Michigan to think they're going to beat Notre Dame.
Agree, Matt. Unless they're really hot. They might be really hot, you know?
Their offense is very good. I do think people are not giving their offense enough respect. I think they may have the best offense in the country. Their defense, though, is going to have a hard time against Notre Dame.
True. Out the door, Tony, was it you or Matt who said Saturday on the post-game show that this game against Alabama is basically a free roll?
That's me, and Matt hates when I say that, but yes, it's me.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say Tennessee 24, Alabama 28.
Thank you, my friend. 24-28. Make sure Bino gets that. He's got Tennessee 28, Alabama 24. Is that right, Bri? Is that what he said?
Yeah, Tennessee 24-28. No, we don't
have that one yet, Brian?
No.
No, we did have Tennessee 24, Alabama 28, but not Tennessee 28, Alabama 24. So I'm glad that he called and shared that because the scores are important.
Tony, isn't tomorrow Dewey Warren's birthday?
I got to check with Titans Bill on that. And so a shout out to my friends at VIP Play. In the meantime, bet $20. Get $100 in bonus bets instantly. I will have a 3-pack pick, 3-play, a triple play, an SEC triple play this weekend. See, help me formulate the SEC triple play right now.
Well, why don't you go with Hoosier Vol Ryan's triple play?
Which was?
It's not all SEC, but he's got he's called twice this week about it. Tennessee to cover, Vandy to cover, and Indiana to cover.
I don't think I trust Vanderbilt to beat LSU. No offense.
Well,
That's the Saban, sad Saban, where he goes to Michigan State, Alabama,
sad
LSU.
Saban 3-way.
Why don't you play Georgia again, Tone?
What do you guys think of Kiffin down there? What do you guys think of that ball game?
I kind of like Georgia in the revenge spot at home.
What do you think, C?
And Ole Miss, I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
Ole Miss is a pretty good team, Bri. Ole Miss could win that game.
Ole Miss obviously was looking ahead last week. Over 7, I kind of would lean towards Ole Miss. I'm not sure if Ole Miss can win the game, but I'm not sure if Georgia's offense is good enough to win by 2 scores.
Imagine the chaos that would ensue. Yeah, you're right. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Kiffin and Ole Miss have been working on Georgia for 2 weeks now. They had the bye before Washington State, and they clearly weren't preparing for that game. So I think he'll have some stuff dialed up, and I think they'll score some points, probably mostly in the first half, and then. But I agree with Steve. It's hard to see Georgia winning by more than a touchdown.
Fun game, and this is the kind of stuff that you debate when you go over to VIP play, and you just have a little fun, throw a few dollars on that one, few dollars on this one. Don't go nuts. $20 if you bet, you get $100 in bonus bets. Instantly, the promo code is TNTony. Again, the promo code is TNTony. You're talking about at VIP play like tonight. I got the Flyers in the money line over the Jets already. Live always, 200-plus leagues, numerous bet types, props, options, you name it. AC, was there any money exchange last night on Stephen Pearl's debut with Oklahoma State yesterday evening?
No money exchanged on my end, but I did. I had the two screens going last night. I had the quad box with all of the mid-major football, and then I had the YouTube on the other screen with Stephen Pearl against Oklahoma State. And the defensive mastermind, Stephen Pearl, gave up 98 points to Oklahoma State last night in a loss.
VIP play where everybody except Stephen Pearl gets treated like a VIP. Gambling problem, 800-889-9789. Must be 21 or over, located in the state of Tennessee to place a bet. And, guys, if we were installing a VIP play line on Stephen F. Pearl, what would that number be, see, in terms of seasons? Because I'm going to go 1.5 on Stephen F. Pearl. No, 2.5. 2.5, and I'll play the under. He'll go 2
Yeah, I
seasons.
think he'll last 2 years. He'll get a second year.
Yep.
I don't think they'll fire him mid-season, or there's not really any. But Bruce was sitting down there courtside. I think somebody was talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe Bruce was sitting there yelling at the refs and kind of.
Nice. Like a
sitting
circus.
there front row, right across from Steven. I assume he'll probably be doing that a lot of their games this year. I know he just got hired today by TNT, but so maybe that'll keep him away a little bit. But yeah, I think it's going to be a long year. I mean, they only have one returning player anyway, but I don't think Steven's going to. He just looked totally fish out of water as a head coach. Just doesn't have the kind of presence you want from a head coach. He drew up one of the worst plays you've ever seen. They were down by 2 at the end of the game, and he called timeout 2 seconds left and didn't even get a shot on the rim.
Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in. I am for Stephen F. and Pearl 100%. I'll never forget when Bruce got thrown out of a high school game when his son was playing for West High School. That's when I knew I loved Bruce Pearl. Anybody nutty enough? You were there, Matt? Tell me about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was kind of nondescript. He had like a hat on, and he was just sitting up there in the stands. And we just kept yelling at the ref, and finally the ref just had it. I'm honestly not even sure the ref knew who he was at the time, at least right when he did it.
I love him. Total psycho. The other time I knew that I loved him is when they went down there to Florida, and he sweated like a man, sweated through his suit like a man that had 5 lines of cocaine in him. Do you guys remember that? I said, I love this guy. He took that jacket off, and that thing he was soaked in sweat. Go!
Yeah, it's like it just come out of the washing machine, and he should have just said, I'm Bruce F. and Pearl. I'm here to see my son, Stephen F. and Pearl, play basketball.
Yep, and he owns this town.
That's what he should have said.
He owns this town, and that means by proxy I own this town because he owns this town. And he's my kid. Hello and welcome into our next call on your TLD Logistics phone line. I'll forever be indebted to Bruce Pearl for the great, fantastic, awesome coach he was. The guy was a Tony Voss-like tour de force here. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, I thought we had Bama 28, 20,
28, Tennessee 24 already. I thought we had that from Titansville already.
Oh,
Am I wrong?
yes. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Tom. Hey, Bama's D, I just got a question about their run defense looking pretty mid, worse than ours even, and their pass D looking great. Is that because their four best opponents, Missouri is a run first team, Vandy's a run first team, Georgia's a run first team, and Florida State's a run first team? Is it really their opponents has made their run defense look worse and their pass defense look better? And they played Wisconsin, who's the worst passing team in college football.
What do you guys think? That's a pretty good thought by Rusty right there. Pretty good thought. What do y'all think?
No, I think there's some truth to that, and that's their pass defense isn't as good as the numbers indicate. But they were a little bit leaky on run defense last year. I think Tennessee had over 200 yards against them. Mobile quarterbacks have had success. I do think they're not great against the run, but it is. I think you're probably right. They're probably maybe not as bad as the numbers are, but Missouri didn't do hardly any. Like Ahmad Hardy did almost nothing against them. Their big chunk guys.
The other running back had more than Hardy. The other running back was much more efficient than Hardy was. Hey, Tony, I want to talk about the refs from this past weekend. I know the Georgia-Auburn game gets all the publicity because it's the primetime game. It wasn't on SEC Network. But the officiating in our game was 10 times worse than Georgia-Auburn.
The holding that they were letting Arkansas get away with in the middle part of that game was utter disgrace. What else stood out to you?
The tackling of Braylon Staley on a 3rd and 8 when the ball's halfway to him. Not grabbed, tackled before the ball's there. That's good. That's really good coverage if suddenly that's a rule now that you can tackle guys before they catch the football. Dixie talked about it the other night that the snap infraction when they were in the neutral zone, that probably is by rule. They got it right because our center stood up with the football when the other two guys false started, but we false started as a reaction to them. It's kind of a bad rule. Just the holding stuff was the big one, but the PI getting missed is atrocious too. I think Kirby is the biggest POS in current college football. Well, Brian Kelly's still around, sorry. But post-Urban, Kirby's a really, really crappy dude. And that timeout thing is just despicable. I don't have a problem with the goal line play. I think it's close enough to whatever the ruling on the field I'm fine with. But what happened in Knoxville just felt like a much, much bigger disaster outside of a coach calling a timeout and then not being charged for it. Even though it doesn't really affect the ball game, it's still that's ridiculous. And that's what should be drawing the headlines from that game.
It goes to show you the power the guy has, man. The power that guy has over those crews is unreal.
It's despicable.
It's unreal.
And what doesn't make sense about our game is if the SEC is corrupt and Sankey's corrupt, making sure Tennessee doesn't lose to Arkansas benefits the conference. So I don't think it's corruption. It's just pathetic referees, guys that don't do their job.
Incompetence over conspiracy.
Yeah, I think so. Because if you're trying to help the conference have the most options, you want Tennessee beating Arkansas and so on and so forth. Lastly, as far as Heupel, if you go look at Spurrier's first 5 years in Gainesville, Heupel's record versus his is almost identical, except the SEC is much better now than when Spurrier got into the SEC. And what did Spurrier do going into year 6? He went out and got Bob Stoops because he had to get better on defense. And then he won a national championship that year.
It's just like Saban going out and getting Kiffin to retool the offense.
Yeah, or Sarkisian. Yeah, sometimes you got Tim Banks is a good defense coordinator. but good is the biggest enemy of great.
Yeah, I think he's good. I agree with that. I think
There,
he's
and
good.
last year, 11 ball games, he was really good. Yeah. He just was horrible at Georgia, and his game plan. And I mean, there wasn't much game plan he could do, but it wasn't great what he tried to do against Ohio State. But he's good most of the time. But good's only going to get you so far on the defensive side of the football. And while our safeties are terrible tackling when the ball gets to them, our bigger issue isn't those things. It's guys being misaligned and not being in the right place when teams are put in third and longs. Like we talked about yesterday, 7 guys beyond the sticks on a third down. And that is either guys are dumb and can't take coaching, or the coaching isn't teaching them where they're supposed to be. It's not athleticism, it's not ability, it's either brains or the coaches aren't relaying the message to you correctly.
It's going to be really interesting to see if they can clean that stuff up, Matt, this weekend, right? Because if they can't, that game could get ugly. If they do some of that defensive nonsense this weekend.
Yeah. Well, and unfortunately, I think Alabama's passing game is good enough, and especially the quarterback, that you could actually clean some of that stuff up and it not show up.
That's right.
Because he can make throws in the tight windows, or guys just make one-on-one plays and beat your guys. Like, that could also happen even if you improve some of that. But no, that's my big concern is they get our back seven turned around or misaligned, because they do a lot of that stuff where they kind of do counters and play actions and bootlegs, and if we bite into the eye candy, it could get out of hand quickly for our defense.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Boys, it's been great today. Does anybody have let me get another call in, because you got to take another call. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
What's up, guys? It's Music City Sam.
Hey, Sammy, welcome in. Great caller.
Hey, I do not think our defense is good. That is not my point when I bring up some of the stats I have. I just don't think they're as bad as people make them out to be. They're not the worst defense in the league. I just don't agree with that. You don't have the worst defense and come up with 26 sacks, score 28 points on defense. They just are what they are. They're not going to get much better. It will be curious to see what they can do, because this will be the first game where you've had Moy, with a game of experience coming back.
Yes.
So I'm curious to see that. I know we gave up a ton of points to Georgia, but you didn't have Moy, you didn't have Hobbs. It was Ty Ribbon's first SEC game.
Yep.
So to that point, there's been a lot of shuffling. There's been a lot of experimenting. So, we'll see what happens. But the defense is what it is at this point. I'm actually more concerned about our offense, because they've done some dumb stuff the last couple games.
I agree with that. And Matt made a point in the blog about the unforced errors and the drive-killing stuff. And then how do you guys account for the false start penalties when you're playing in your own building? That just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, they did everything possible on offense to lose the Mississippi State game. And then, incidentally, we talk about the defense because they give up points. But, I mean, Mississippi State scored 21 points on 63 yards.
It was utterly, first of all, that ill-fated experiment to prove a point to Bill Buchharter, we all get it. But it's almost like, look, you made the deal with him. What are you trying to teach him a lesson for now? I mean, he's on your football team. He's your guy that catches punts. Let him go back there and catch punts, please. Hopefully they're past that. And then the second thing is that, man, the receivers have to – Matt, that's one thing that's true. Our last road game, you can't leave points on the board because you're dropping deep balls. They've got to catch them this week. Got to. Cannot do that this week. You will not live to tell about it.
Or tip them up 20 yards in the air.
Yeah, you won't. Yeah, exactly.
The Braylon Staley thing with punt returning was even more stupid, because his dad played for Mississippi State. You know he's going to be amped up to the gills to play.
Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, that's
right.
the worst position to put a punt returner.
Wow, that's a great point.
I'm convinced if he catches that punt, that game's a blowout. I think that set off I think it just set off everything. I really do.
Yes.
So Tennessee just needs to play cleanly this game, and they have every opportunity to line up toe-to-toe with Alabama because they're not some Saban juggernaut. They're obviously good, but we have the advantage on both lines of scrimmage, and that's why I think this game will be a one-score game.
Well, see, you're like a real degenerate. See, like you just admitted, you had all those games in the quad box last night. You probably had action on them. What's the number right now in this game? The live number? See, what is it? What you're looking at? The Tennessee game? Is he there?
I got 8.5 to 9.
All right. See, 8.5 to
8
9.
to 9.
Week in and week out in college football, 8.5 to 9. How many 8.5 to 9 point underdogs see win outright in the sport? Like, what's the number per weekend right now? Could we find that before tomorrow's show? And what's your guess? What's your guess? How many of those guys? Yeah, how many 8.5 to 9 point underdogs win outright weekly in college football? What do you think that number is?
I would have to dig. I would guess they win at about a maybe 30% clip outright. I could dig into that though.
So that would be how many teams a weekend, just theoretically, like 5 or 6 that would meet that description. It's certainly within the realm of
yeah, I mean, depends on the week. Yeah,
it's certainly well within the realm of possibility. Tennessee wins. They just have to be cleaner.
Yeah, they have to be clean because you're not going to get a whistle down there.
No,
that's obvious.
You got to overcome it. You got to overcome a
whistle. There's no point
down there.
even. Yeah, there's no point in worrying about the defense. They're going to give up what they give up. They just need to rush. I would, if I was game planning this game, because obviously you're limited, I would just say hit every Alabama player as hard as you physically can every single play. Just make them not want to even be on the field. Because that's about all you can do at this point.
Bring the wood like Dale Jones did back in the day, man.
That's right. And the last thing, obviously the Arkansas game, we gave up the last 14 points. It sucks as a fan because you don't want to worry about it. But does anyone remember anything about the 2022 Florida game other than we won?
No. Somebody reminded me yesterday they had the ball with a chance to win. You're right. And that totally slipped my mind.
Nerve-wracking game.
They were throwing it into the end zone. It went from a 17-point lead to they were throwing into the end zone or toward the end zone on the last play that would have won the game for them and hadn't picked it off.
Which is so much that series, guys. It's just so unnecessary, the Florida series. Thank God it's going to be over after this year.
As Herm Edwards said, you play to win the game, and as long as we have one more point than Alabama, I don't care how it happens.
Thank you, my brother. Any quote of
Go Vols.
Herm Edwards? Thank you. Go Vols to you. I've got a autograph football up there from the Philadelphia Eagles, the year of the fumble, when Herm Edwards picked up the fumble and ran into the end zone. Joe Pisarcik and Larry Zonka colliding behind the center. And Herm Edwards scooped it up, and the Eagles made the playoffs that year. In fact, that was the game that put the Eagles basically in the playoffs. Total miracle. But I've got the autograph football up there. Any of you visit the Rainier studio, look up there and go up there. You'll see Herm Edwards' signature on there. You'll see Guy Morris' signature, coach at Hawaii, or at Kentucky, rather. There are several. Ron Jaworski, Wilbur Montgomery signatures on that ball. It's very next level. Do you boys have anything else you want to add? We're going to be dropping later on tonight another edition of Winners and Losers on our YouTube channel. To those that found our YouTube channel, please like and subscribe. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, because that helps people find us. And we had a very few people hit the like button today, and y'all are pissing me off. See, will you be filing TGMD, will you be filing a full report later?
Absolutely. Been working on it all week.
C, will you be on Winners and Losers presented by Dos Equis later?
Yes, I will. I'll be on Winners and Losers.
Brian Hartman,
I've got a question for C on the way out, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but like, do you do your own personal power rankings with these teams like that you can like manually control?
I do not. I do it in some other sports, but I don't do it for college football. I'd like to do it, but I mean, I there's some publicly available stuff that I just kind of aggregate, but no, I do not do it. But I mean, I have an idea of how you do it, but you have to just put in a lot of work as far as going through box scores and watching games and stuff. That no, I do not do my own power ratings for college football.
Because I would be curious, like, because that Florida State result with Bama that first week is just completely fluky. Like, if you erase that from like these rankings, I'd be curious where Alabama ranks and what the line would be, because I feel like that the line would probably be like 12 or something, and they would be right up there with Ohio State, and Miami is one of the 2 or 3 best teams, which, like, from my perspective, like projecting ahead, like I feel like that's more accurate than counting that Florida State game.
Yeah, I mean, no, I agree with you. I think that it seems to me a lot of the people that I know that do it in this sport, it's more because it's such a smaller sample size. And like if you're doing baseball or basketball or something like that, it's a lot of you just trust the numbers. But I think a lot of this is with your eyes, like you're going to upgrade or downgrade teams. And then you can go in and say, like, say LSU after week 1, you may have upgraded because obviously you went on the road at Clemson. You might have Clemson in your top 6 or 7. But then as the year goes on, you might, take a point off LSU here because Clemson looks so bad against whoever, Georgia Tech. And so the same kind of thing with Alabama. I think somebody who does this will probably, as the year's gone on, probably gradually let that Florida State result fall off because it just seems to be kind of just such a fluke and such kind of a non forward-looking way to rate them, if that makes sense, like you're saying.
Yeah, I was just curious because like all that stuff's way over my head, having like Excel models and all that stuff. I was just curious because I would like to know what the line would be, because I think
Alabama include that.
Alabama will be viewed totally differently.
Yeah, like in basketball, you can go in and even like the publicly available stuff. You can go in on Torvik and say, start on this date, end on this date. What would the line be if you took out the first 2 months of the season? Like you can do that, but we haven't really gotten there with college football yet, because I know there's some stuff. I mean, even like some of the older stuff like Sagarin, I think is it seems to be to me, in looking at things, the lines are normally closer to the Sagarin numbers than some of the like Connolly stuff. And there's kind of some debate as to why one is more reliable than the other. But I think I've heard some people recently saying that I've heard people saying, multiple people on different podcasts and articles and stuff about how Connolly may be taking too much of the garbage time out because, and that's kind of an example of Tennessee is Tennessee's been giving up stuff in garbage time. But I think in today's college football, with the lack of depth, and some of these guys that are having to play in garbage time are also the same guys that are playing in like that, like the garbage time touchdowns that Arkansas scored were against, like Tony said and you said, against Tennessee's first team defense. So I don't know if you can really take out as much garbage time as you could when, 2010 Alabama has 11 freshmen out there against Georgia Southern. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
as to why the garbage time might be more predictive now than it was. And like Tennessee giving up late touchdowns to UAB doesn't hurt them at all in like SP plus, but in some of the other stuff it does, because now with the lack of depth, there's still guys out there in those drives against UAB that are probably going to be playing against Alabama.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting debate. Obviously, it's kind of over people's head probably, but yeah, it is something I'd like to maybe try and figure out. But I do not do it now. No, I do it, like I said, I do it a little bit in college basketball. And I do it in golf, actually. So those are I kind of have a model for golf and college basketball, but nothing else.
Matt says, and Matt asks a question, which is a great question, just so you're following at home. If you take the Florida State game out of that at Alabama season, how are they power rated? Which obviously you can't take the Florida State game out, but the Florida State game, when you look at how Alabama's looked since then, Matt, to your point, was such an anomaly compared to what they've looked like since then, right? That's kind of the
Well,
point.
and how
Florida
Florida
State-
State's looked since then.
And how Florida State's
like
it was an anomaly.
which is
Like it obviously counts on their resume.
Yeah.
Like and for playoff purposes, but like for gambling and like projection purposes, it almost feels like that game shouldn't count because they've been totally different teams.
And for us, right? Like
That's like an exhibition basketball game
like
at the start of the schedule.
Matt's not a gambler. He ain't going to gamble on the game. But trying to make sense of what we're going to see Saturday, if you had a predictive model where you could take out that Florida State game, it would be an interesting thing to ask it, hey, what can I expect to see? How far apart are these two teams points-wise? And then C talking about how now some of these models take garbage time touchdowns out, but people leave their first-team defense in now. I mean, you don't have subs you can put in games like you once did. So it's all pretty interesting. Guys, thanks. See, I'll talk to you later. Brian, am I talking to you later? You've changed your mind more than like I don't know. A lot of women I know. No offense to women. I love women, but it's a women's prerogative to change your mind. Brian, are you in or out for tonight's winners and losers?
Say your game time decision.
I'm a game time decision.
Brian, are you going to be watching the Mariners? I saw you. There's a lot of Mariners fans out at the Circa. Is that right?
Yeah, there was some out there. I don't think I've ever seen that many in one place. I don't know that I've seen one anywhere, period, before last night.
Are they Asians, Brian?
No, they're no, I don't think they were, no.
That's interesting.
But they're out here. What's funny is I think Packer fans are coming out here they're going to their game in Arizona Sunday, so I think they're stopping by. Making a vacation trip out of it.
Brewers fans tonight.
I haven't seen many of those. Lots of Dodgers, though.
But I'm saying the Packers fans, you'd think they'd be Brewers fans, right?
Some of them.
Who does the Vegas Raiders home or away over the weekend?
They're
Brian?
at Kansas City.
Okay, that makes sense. Then you wouldn't see another. All right, boys, because that's what Nashville does. The Toilers going forward, they're just going to fill their stadium up with other teams' fans. Matt, what do you think of the Tennessee Toilers as a name for them at this point? Are you for that or against it?
I mean, it's kind of fitting. I mean, just a really bad and boring NFL franchise.
Toiling in anonymity.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. I love you guys. If you removed the Nashville Titans like a mole, say from the rear end of the NFL, which is where they are right around the outer reaches of the NFL, the very bottom, if you will. Would anybody notice? If you lance them like a boil?
Do you think there are a lot of Titans fans out in Vegas last week? A lot of Titans fans travel with the team, do you think?
I bet you their family and friends don't even travel. I bet you that Taylor Zazor guy is going, boy, I know what Mike Keith was thinking now. Getting the hell out of this deal. Appreciate y'all. Thanks. To my friends at TLD Logistics, I love you. Thank you. Online at tldlogistics.com. My name's Basilio for TGMD, for C, and for Brian Hartman. We wish you a wonderful Thursday. See you tomorrow at Calhoun's on the River. The show of record, the blog of record. This concludes another broadcast day of the emergency broadcast system. We love you. Peace. G to the B to the O. God bless and take the vow and all that good stuff. And I just can't even tell you how much I love you. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. Appreciate you. Peace. And let's run it back. Whoa, what in the world was that? What in the world's that? Huh? Take the vow and all that. What? Little Steve Austin for you there. Run it back. What in the world was that? What in the world was that, Tone? All right, let's run it back today. Here we go. Thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.